Good evening, one and all. It's Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, and that of course means it's time for some more good old Warframe. Welcome in, everybody. And I'm instantly interrupted.
Yoga had an ad on Ken's stream, get rid of it.
That is a very effective way to get rid of ads on this stream, absolutely there. Airsoft Sniper, subscribe with Prime, once again, 13 months of it. Airsoft, thank you very much for continuing your support over on the channel here. Yeah, that is a very, very effective way to get rid of the ads. I was going to say, but I can't watch this live, I'll catch the VOD. I mean, yeah, you can always catch the VOD over on the replays channel. Exclamation mark replays for anyone who's forgotten about that. Is it slightly shadowy in here today? I'm probably just in a different amount of space. Anyway, instantly distracted, as you do. But welcome in, everybody. Hope you're doing well wherever you are around the world. We're halfway through the week, so if it's a standard working week for you, hey, it's halfway over. More than halfway over. We're already at the end of Wednesday. At least here in the UK, we near enough are. But yes, indeed. Now, for anyone curious, there was a hotfix that went out just moments ago. I can tell you that that hotfix consists of all of around about, let's see here, 5 bullet points. A C2Swift description update. You can now link God for Prime in chat. Transference was bugged during the Delivery Paradox quest. That's been fixed. Execution Azura was having problems walking around in dog days, and there was a tower in the Carl mission that was not shooting if Carl had died earlier. And that's it. As far as hotfixes go, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. I guess the Delivery Paradox quest one was important enough to make the rest get sent out. But yeah, I imagine they are working on the next big update instead. Or at least primarily. So when Red Tech said they missed us, I was like, oh, oh. Oh, the same. Welcome in, everybody. Now, you might have figured out... No, I'm not equipping my usual Warframe here today. Limbo's a very animated pose, doesn't he? He's a very animated character. But today, it occurred to me that for a character that's been out for a very long time and is relatively, if not very early game, given the quest that you get him from, it's a bit bloody confusing, and I'll be quite honest. As much as I know what his abilities do, actually making that all work is still a bit weird to me. I'll be quite honest with you. Making Limbo work is still just a bit all over the place. So I want to fix that. I want to fix that. What am I trying with Limbo? I haven't used him since the Overguard update. Well, make him work. Make him viable. Make him more than... someone that pisses off everyone on defense missions or something like that. Make him a little bit more capable. Making a good build, that's the idea, or multiple good builds would be ideal. Now I know that there is, of course, always the opportunity to just kind of explode rooms, so I've had this in my back pocket for the longest time. This is my Golden Instinct Limbo. So Golden Instinct for detecting loot, and of course 500 meter range because we got a hell of a lot of range on it. And all the efficiency and preparation and prime flow, so we can just go in and bubble bomb basically everywhere. That's what this build does. It goes in, it gets Argon crystals, hence why it's called Argon. And if there's any loot along the way, he'll find it. But that is an extremely limited use for an entire Warframe, and these other loadouts betray attempts at making things work. I think this one was for using Smite Cheese against Killer to Tame. That's what I think this one was. This, go for the good old standard has become of putting silence onto Limbo, because one of the most threatening things is, of course, Xmas units with their abilities. Silence shuts down abilities. Xmas units are less threatening. But it's still not exactly overflowing with options there, and a little bit of fiddling earlier just to get out an idea as to potential stats and using Rift Torrent. I'm just kind of going, I need to fiddle this out some more. I need to fiddle this out some more. I was like, what do you think of the silence to negate most Xmas attacks? Yep. Way ahead of you on that one. Way ahead of you on that one. Somebody will say, love my gentleman past Limbo, but he's not one of those frames where you can just put mods on him and do stuff. Yeah, you really do need to think with such a fragile one. You do need to think a bit. One just saying dropped Limbo pretty hard since Zaku has slightly larger range for box breaking. True, Zaku does have a larger range for box breaking, but then Zaku has a lot of uses. Limbo has fallen off in usage. So that's where the difference comes in. That is where the difference comes in. Now, Limbo on the star chart, no question about it, stupidly easy to understand. If you're against the Infested, or if you're against the Grenier, Limbo on normal star chart, you don't need a guide. You don't. Step 1, Cataclysm. Step 2, Stasis. Step 3, congratulations, you've locked down an area. You have no threat to deal with whatsoever. Even if you're doing a long run, eventually Xmas units will become a threat, but by that point, you're no longer doing star charts, are you? You've scaled up to the point where it's quite a different mission. So he's ridiculously simple to understand there. Just 4 and 2, or 2 and 4, whatever, which way you want to do it. The 3 on basic star chart doesn't matter. The 1 on basic star chart doesn't matter. That's your stuff. If you're on a mobile mission, if you are not sat defending the location, then Limbo just isn't the answer at that tier, because you can just backhand everything with the Bratton, basic Bratton, and just get through. So I want to look at Limbo's use cases and how we can make him more effective overall outside of basic star chart, basically Steel Path. That's where I want to really be looking at him today. And I think along the way, he needs a new look. Because I'll be quite honest, these colours, I'm tired of them. Of all the things, I am tired of these colours on him. So I think that needs a reshuffle as well. I don't think just hitting random is going to be the solution. I mean, we can give it a try. Let's see what... If I do a full randomize, what happens? Yeah, see, this is why we don't do that. This is exactly why hitting full random is frowned against. Rhino Deathwatch Agile Animation of all things to pick up on. Okay, that's Swamp Creature Limbo. Yeah, something like that. This is I think this fell out of Shrek's nose. Let's even grab the Void Shell helmet. Let's just reset everything. Can I? Let's default all the colors. Is there a way to just default all the attachments and bits and pieces? I don't think there is. I'll just oh gods. We'll just fix everything real quickly. There might be an actual fix option somewhere I just don't know about. God, it's got everything equipped. Ugh. Cool. No more doing that. There we are then. No more hitting the complete randomize button. That was a mistake. Random colors. Mustard Limbo. Uranus Limbo. Pimp Limbo? What even? Is this Pot of Greed Limbo? Vampire Limbo? Actually, you know what? Let's go Vampire for a bit. Why not? Because I don't want to hit randomize for the next half an hour. Just why not? They even randomize positions of this visual? I didn't even notice that. To be quite honest, I didn't even notice. This isn't terrible, I'll be honest with you. That colour scheme has got something you can work with. Anyway, not going to focus too much on that right now. The main focus is actually Limbo himself, not his appearances. Oh. Where do we start? I think starting point is deciding where we're building him for and taking it from there. MB, cheers. Cheers indeed. As I'm saying, are we going to do a Rift Torrent shenanigans? Here it's quite stupid to breach surge. Since I get buffs to sparks like Nourish or Arachne. I have heard that as well. I have heard that you can use this good old mod over here, Rift Torrent, combine it with breach surge, and kind of shenanigans happen. It's an option. It's an option I don't want to completely overlook, I suppose, but relying on Breach Surge to do stuff at that point, it doesn't really feel like I am focusing on the Warframe, rather than focusing on how Breach Surge is just a silly ability. It's just kind of how it fits for me. Because Breach Surge is a silly ability. So yeah, it's certainly an option. Does Rift Torrent scale with strength? It does, yes. With mouse over this here, you can see the basic 30% goes up to 46% with this 155 strength. So more strength, more damage, and that's going to scale multiple times over with Breach Surge because you've got the additional damage multiplier, and you've got the additional multiplier from Rift Torrent, which is also going to scale your initial damage, which might then scale and scale and scale. Think about it, put that all together, that would give you cubic scaling? That's going to be a lot. Yeah, I could see why that catches the attention of the Funny Numbers crew. That sounds like that would be a lot. But the question is, can we make Limbo work without relying on just being another Breach Surge Funny? Because Breach Surge Funny, you can get that in loads of different ways. I want Limbo, not Budget Wisp. So I'll say I'd run Rift Torrent even without Surge. I think first time using it, I'd like 1k damage numbers on a poorly placed Rift. I think it'd just do funny numbers. Yeah, it still gives you a lot of additive damage. Because I get 46% there. If you capture 10 enemies, it's 460%. 460% is outstripping what you get from a Steel Path Arcane. So yeah, that can absolutely get you plenty in high enemy density situations. In lower enemy density situations, like for example a Exterminate, not going to be as overall effective. But yeah, you can certainly get something from it. Where's Rift Torrent in damage formula? Additive. Additive to base damage. Or additive to base damage mods, I should say. So, Serration. Think along that line. First turn, let's switch you out. Let's go for... I don't know which one I want to use right now. Let's use some more Fenmore. I could always do with doing a bit more Fenmore. Right. So let's have a think about locations. Pop us over to the Steel Path. Starting against the Grenier is always a good idea, I think, overall. And I think a good place to start will be to just get it where Limbo can work on basic Exterminate, really. We all know that Limbo's got the capability to just bubble down an area. And that's a very obvious point to go to, but it's too simple. It doesn't really teach us much about the frame. So I want to see what we need to do to make Exterminate work. I want to see how that comes together. So, for an Exterminate, we're going to have low enemy density. Even on Steel Path, we're going to have low enemy density, which does mean that Rift Torrent is not going to be as viable. At least the amount of bonus it's giving is typically going to be a lot less. In terms of survivability, it's going to be that bit harder to actually keep enemies on lockdown, and especially we want to make sure that we have the energy to make said lockdown happen. My other concern is, of course, Acolytes, which is where the whole silencing comes in, but then silence is taking up a spot, and currently I've put it over Banish, which from earlier fiddling might be a bad idea. If going through Exterminate, I might even consider taking out Rift Surge for silence. Bear with me on this. Reason being is that sure, it's nice and all having the idea of Rift Torrent, but we kind of need the range to keep things happening. We kind of need the duration to keep things staying up for energy purposes. And we're not going to have that many enemies in any one given area, so the damage bonus overall that we get from Rift Torrent won't be there. And Rift Surge itself, the banish radius, even at this range, is only 11 meters. That's not going to reach too many enemies, even in a clustered room. I just figured that might be a bit too much of an ask. Whereas instead, if we bring back Banish, we can then just cheaply banish a small number of enemies. I don't know if what I'm saying Sounds ridiculous at the moment because it still needs testing, but that's where my idea is going at the moment. That's where it's going for now. So with that in mind, also these polarities. Ugh. Dash V and two V's and a D, I think it is. Yeah. We got dash a V, dash 2 V's and a D on Limbo, which is a thing. Chalk said, I've actually done a Steel Path survival build Limbo myself. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, fair enough. Survival is very different to Exterminate. Very, very different. The enemy density in survival is much, much higher. So the approach you can take, certainly with regards to things like Rift Torrent and holding zones, is completely different. Exterminate, you're on the move with low enemy density, so that's why it's a completely different approach to what default Limbo seems to kind of point towards. Default Limbo says just Cataclysm an area and blow it to hell. That's why I'm focusing on the Exterminate first. If we can make him work in Exterminate, maybe we can make him work with the rest. Wonder if weapons with grouping abilities like Ferox, Penta, Proboscis Cernos might affect enemies outside the Rift. No idea on that. Hadn't looked into it. Chalk saying, in fact, for the build, I feel like the enemy density is low, benefit from a lot from more enemies. If you're talking about survival, that's basically about as high enemy density as it gets. Just saying. Kind of where the enemies are pouring through. Alright, I'm going to swap the silence over to the third slot. So let's take that off at the moment. Also, what we got over here? We got Hydroid, Night Crits, immune status, Wallburn, secondary damage, reload speed, Harrow, 30 range plus health. Not terrible. Anyway. Feed up the Grave Mind. Let's pop in some Gallows Rods and Null Stones and Grok Drill. No one needs that much Grok Drill. Field Draw and Detonite. And we go Pulsating, Severed. There we are. Alright, let's infuse this ability. We're going to go over Rift Surge on the A config only. See what happens. That it does wonders, well, yeah. Steel Path does indeed give us maximum enemy density rather than needing a full squad to achieve it. Okay, so with that updated, we now got Silence moved over to the third slot rather than on the first slot. So we got Banish there available to, well, 78 meter range Banish. Boop. So this is going for low strength because none of this needs strength. With this setup here, none of it needs strength. We only need strength if we're using Rift Torrent. Otherwise, strength is actually unhelpful to us. So skipping out the whole Rift Surge, Rift Torrent thing does give us that benefit as well, but I wonder how this is actually going to turn out for us. Let's go. Now, I've got the Dual Toxis on me as well. I'm going to stick with the Fenmore to get started, just because the Dual Toxis is so damn powerful. And Chalk's wanting us to switch to Ambient for a bit. Yeah, sure. Sure. I'll just update the music there. Alright, so I think I'm on Onairu. Yeah, I'm on Onairu. I have to bear that in mind. Not started with a lot of energy. But that's fine because we have efficiency. So with them banished and then stasis, they are a non-threat to us. Okay, he can still turn around whilst stasis. The magic. Still not entirely a fan as to how Silence literally mutes your own audio. I thought I put a banish down here. Is banish line of sight? It's not. So that guy just evaded it somehow. Somehow. Hello, Predator. How you doing? Now, the main thing is that I should remain in the void. In the rift, I should say. Annoying bit is having to leave the rift to get others in, unless I want to do a more expensive ability. Can I kidnap him? I genuinely thought that would kidnap him. It did not. Well, you know, I'm just going to sit and let my energy regen for a bit. Sure, go ahead. You claim to have yourself a Steel Path Survival Limbo. You raised that a moment ago, so sure, what do you do? What do you do that works in very low enemy density so as to afford it for more than 2 seconds? Right, so I like running minimum efficiency and Perigirl, sharpshooters, energy headshot kill, plus passive, 10 energy on rifted enemy, death, more than compensates. Okay. Rift Surge is busted, for very low may not be as good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Chalk. You were talking about a survival build, I'm talking about an exterminate build. You can see how far apart these enemies are. Like, on this high range setup, it got to 11 meters. Okay? So at this distance, that would be too far. If one enemy there, one enemy here, that one popping with Rift Surge would not affect an enemy stood here. This is how tiny the range is on that, which doesn't make it much of a propagation. It's not like sarin spores, which could just spread throughout the entire map if you're not careful, or if you are careful, it's intended. This is with how much of a range boost? Now I'm looking at... I should have a simple range on it. Yeah. Over twice, I've got about, what's that, 220-ish percent, 223% range, I think this is. 223%. And my concern there is the cost of it all. On top of, if we have that, then where do we put silence? You expect there to be more enemies in Exterminate? Yeah, that's the thing. It's actually surprisingly empty. When we blitz through them, as we do as players normally, it feels like there's loads. But when you take a moment in a very squishy setup, trying to understand the options you have, you realise just how sparse it all is. Also, the most annoying bit is having to... God, do you ever reload? Getting ready to try and deal with this. And we got a few of them here because they're kind of grouping up. So when we got a group of them, we can just pop down a Cataclysm, and that deals with it. On top of affecting other ones that enter the area as well. You think Dog Day sold no weapon shoot for the Rift? I highly doubt that. Willie's saying, don't really care for Banish, it feels like it's actually better on other frames. So Banish here, the whole point is that it's cheap. And being cheap, it can deal with enemies piecemeal. Is the idea. I may be wrong. This is where I'm currently experimenting with it. Because the Vein and Rift was scuffing. Oh, lovely, it's Malice. Okay, so Malice can be rifted. They're just immune to stasis. And also apparently my gun. Can I lift you? Hold up. How did I have them in the rift before, but now I don't? Are they... Ow. Okay, that's hurting. What? What the hell killed me? That was weird. Okay, well... They can't beat a cataclysm. Oh. But they can apply that to me. Yep. Gotta be careful I don't walk into that bubble and kill myself. Fenmore, can you do some more Fenmore-y things, please? There we go. Okay, so have to use have to use Cataclysm when dealing with the acolytes if I want to keep them in the Rift. And Rift is where you want to keep them because otherwise all the other enemies can shoot me. That's the impression I'm getting there. I didn't mean to press my 4. Oh god, that was loud. Why was he so loud? Oh right, silence just ran out. No, don't worry, it happens. Where's a lockdown panel? Where is a lockdown panel? Come on, Ken. Okay, so Banisher group, Stasis group, dip in. That one apparently, a few of them managed to dodge being banished there, which is annoying. I'm just going to activate this now. Bracken's Yard. Cheers. Okay. I feel like it's twice this same butcher has managed to dodge being banished. I'm not sure what I'm missing on this because it's a huge ass range on it, so I'm not sure how we escaped twice. It feels like a very narrow cone. Ooh, didn't mean to dash that way. Freaking jump over there. There's no obstacle there. Jump up. Oh, for goodness sake. There we are. Banish tiny cone up close. Is how far away? Yeah, that's how cones work. Yes, I'm familiar. When I say a tiny cone, we're referencing the angle, not the fact that the cone is cone shaped. Just putting it out there. Wiki says it's 15-degree angle. Damn, that is small. Why are you not in the rift? I literally banished this area. How are you not in the rift? The guy who was stood next to you is in the rift. How were you not? What? Like, there's angles and then there's that. Yeah, I managed to banish the Xmas, but not the normal guy stood next to him. Make it make sense. Oh, that is a very narrow angle. Oh, right. Cone-shaped donuts? Yeah, let's hope it's not that. The last thing we need is de-inventing shapes. At least with the silent weapon enemies, are absolute idiots. How? Freaking... Ah! Oh. Okay, yeah. That whole angle thing, really beginning to knock me off now. Hello, Miss Queen. Welcome on in. Alright, so we got ourselves another acolyte on the approach. I'm gonna... Oh, it's violence. Oh, okay. And I'm slash prop. Oh, their shields are immune to that, is it? Okay, cool. I love it when things are just immune to abilities that should handle them. Violence? Stasis isn't active. That was weird. They're immune to stasis anyway, and he just took it. I mean, sure. Time before I silenced you, that's exactly what I did. Yeah, most abilities apply from your camera angle. Your Warframe turns to then cast it that way. I didn't stasis. Alright, big old group of them, so I might as well cataclysm this lot. Because that's the other thing with Rift Surge, is that for a little bit more energy, I could just pop a zone here, and it persists, rather than need to first get enemies in the Rift, then Rift Surge them, then get them out of the Rift to propagate the Rift stuff. I could just set up a zone for 25 more energy, which actually comes out to less energy when you consider the whole process of in-outing them in the first place. Ooh, that was close. Oh, hey. I found a rare crate. High range Limbo wins again. That was actually quite unexpected. Pop a new bubble up here. Take out the Xmas first. And then just pick off all the others. Oh, 30 minutes of bonus affinity? Oh, yeah. They're generous at DE. Stopped him from using that. One up here. Where are you? Oh, no, you're down here now. Hello! Bring up the silence. Bubble. Stasis.
The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
I mean, bubble and stasis works. We already knew this. Bubble and stasis works. I mentioned this right at the very start. And as long as you got enough DPS to deal with Xmas abilities, or Xmas units I should say, that's it, job done. It's mainly when dealing with low energy circumstances or acolytes though we run into an issue. Raptor, how exactly do you mean on that? Are you speaking from a place of knowledge or a place of just gut feeling? Alright, here comes another acolyte. This is where the problems come in, as far as I'm concerned. Again, I'm going to sit in the bubble. That way he stays in the rift and I stay protected from using stasis. So he's my only threat. Re-up the silence so he doesn't do any stupid shit. I'm just going to keep backing up from him. Damn it, Fenmore, when did he get this week? There we are. Employee of the year right there. Hello, Kanak, how you doing? Also, not a very skilled Carl. Cheers. Boop. Devouring attrition doesn't work on acolytes? Does it not? Okay. News to me, I'll be honest. Hey, the acolytes are immune to all kinds of random crap.
Foe, so you conquer yourself.
I see what you mean, Raptor. I see what you mean, yeah. That was exceedingly methodical. I mean, it was 19 minutes. I don't think it was all 19 minutes of gameplay. A lot of it was just kind of teasing details apart, but yeah. That was very methodical for a lot of that. That said, a lot of it was also testing out the usefulness of Banish. This came down to annoying, to be honest. Now, silence is helpful there, especially against the acolytes. They are a very, very big threat. Let's see. Well, let's do that again, but this time I'll just use Dual Toxist. Because Dual Toxist is pretty strong. Let's just go going again. And this time I'm going to focus more on using the bubble. I may want to consider a higher efficiency if I go for more bubble focus. I think bubble is 70 energy at the moment. Yeah, 70. Which means it's a bit spicy to keep casting. All of that. I don't need silence straight away. So I do have enough starting energy to, well, get started. And got very lucky with the energy orb right there. Very lucky. The idea, of course, here is Limbo doing what Limbo does best. Set up bubbles. Need to remember to uncast it when I'm done in an area. Set up stasis and shoot. I heard you. Where are you? There you are. Come on, step into the field. Sorry, I'll just kill him. So at this point I'm going to start using silence because, yep, as if on cue, there is an Exodus. As if on cue. Use Rift Torrents for more damage. I'm aware of it. I'm aware of it. It would require removing silence at the moment, but the moment it's looking like maybe Banish is just too narrow. Be of particular use to me here. That was a slightly awkward timing on that stasis, but it's okay. I survived. No, I'm just going to stab him for good measure. Just because I can, really. Energize doing some pretty serious work in the oil energy department. Silence right out.
Queens will not be pleased.
Well, I'm killing fast enough to cause a larvaling to spawn. Not the most ringing endorsement, but hey. Oops, slightly unintentional heavy landing. That was just silly. Do you think we should have a kick player mechanic in-game for Limbo teammates? No, Boltsy? No. For any reason whatsoever, actually. If you don't want to be in that squad, you leave the squad. Quite frankly, if you join public, you get public. A kick teammate option would immediately breed toxicity. Not like occasionally or eventually or in some circumstances. No, it would straight up be toxic. And we don't need that in Warframe. If you got a Limbo who's actively griefing, report them. Chances are most Limbos aren't actively griefing. Also, if for any moment someone thinks that a vote kick option would not lead to toxicity and griefing, clearly you've never played any multiplayer game that has it in. Say, for example, you know, CSGO, Team Fortress 2, or anything, basically, that has it in. Oh, you'll see it plenty. Hi. I actually thought the Cataclysm was reaching her, but okay, apparently not. There we go. That's weird. It looked like it should have reached her. It looked like it was keeping me in the rift. But I guess I was wrong. Is Limbo straight up AFK and considered griefing? Well, if someone is AFK, yes, that is griefing. If someone joins a mission, they should be playing the mission. Not playing the mission is griefing. That should be pretty obvious, to be quite honest with you. High threat first. High threat eliminated. Work on all the other threats. Incoming baddie. That is weird. Re-up the gun. Here we got Torment. Torment tried to use gun, it was not very effective. Did I know if there's any way to complete rope this mission on steelopathic bugs all the time? Yeah, don't bug. It works. Ow. If you ask me how can you complete a mission which becomes uncompletable, the answer is you can't. However, I do not experience bugs enough that completely game break the rope below this. Not really much else I can help you on that one. Just, yeah. See if you can figure out what's triggering your particular flavour of bug, and don't do that. Yeah, Perigale Sharpshooter is an option for energy, or just Sniper, and that for energy. You're not wrong. That's where I held aim there. I think what's adding to the methodical nature of this is not just it being an exterminate mission, but having to focus on enemies in the zone that I'm creating, the bubbles, with this approach. Because if I don't do that, I will be obliterated. Oop! Status ran out. I think there's one over here. It's in the area. Don't jump down there. There's one more guy. Where is he? There he is. Stasis up, and we're good. You're outside the bubble, can't hurt you. You guys are all in, perfect. None of those were headshots. Alright, very methodical, gets the work done. But again, that's all still just 4-2
So you conquer yourself.
with silence. The thing is that with Limbo you gain 10 energy per kill already. Wait, what? Did I miss something? Limbo you gain 10 energy kill. Huh? I don't remember that passive. When was that added? If... Oh, each enemy killed in the rift? How did I not know this? How the hell did I not know this? I knew that the rift gave you energy over time, and I knew you could dodge into rift. I thought that was a whole passive. How did I not know the kill energy on kill? Okay, wow, yeah, that's well done, Ken. Amazing. I'm genuinely impressed that I didn't know that. What the hell? What? Yeah. 3 passives in 1, yeah. 3 passives in 1. That's, okay. Each enemy killed in Rift also gives energy. Does that apply even if you kill them on passage into the Rift?
The multitude of creatures you have immortalized would cry out in thanks.
Well, I watched a video a few days ago. It says Rift is a 300 projectile freeze limit before it turns off stasis. Correct. It applies even if allies kill rifted enemies? What? Hold on, hang on. Does it say on kills or on deaths in Rift? Each enemy killed in there. Not each enemy that dies in there. That's strange phrasing then, if that's true. Alright. I have 135 energy. I am about to spend 70. He'll die. I picked up energy orbs. Doesn't count. Let's get rid of picking up orbs. Okay, yeah, so that definitely didn't trigger that. But if I... Here's a weird thought. So if I bubble that zone, I've got 223 energy. Four, 2, 3. I just gained 200 energy. Interesting. So spawning them in the bubble, it counts. But casting the bubble, it doesn't. Interesting. It's passage damaged? Well, yeah, but it's passage damaged both ways. It's just in this case, the zone's already declared. There's not really much of a change, that one. Not really much of a change. But it's still a thing. There it counts passage damage kills, not ability damage kills. That's a thought. Is it... Does Cataclysm deal damage first and then passage? If that's... But then why would it... No. Because why would it still count these ones but not the early ones? No, no, no. The other case, damaging with Cataclysm, not Rift. No, damaging with both. Rather, both were eligible. It's just one was happening and then the other was happening. So same ability, different circumstances. Do we know if Nourish works on Limbo's passive? Oh, jeez, yeah, probably. It works on Ash uncasting his 4, so I would be surprised if Nourish doesn't work on his passive. If they walk in, they don't get the blast damage? Oh, point. Fair point. Okay. In which case, let's see. I've got Explosion, 200. If I go Butcher, Warframe, when do I surpass that amount of EHP? So let's try them with level 17, apparently. Cool. So let's see, I'm at 63 energy, I'm going to go down by 70, so I'll be on 553. This time it did. Yeah. So ability cast damage doesn't count, but passage damage does count for killing them in the rift. There we are then.
Hope you
Well
are
identified,
well, Ken.
Chuck. Hello, Psychotic. Thank you very much for resubscribing there at 4 months. I am well indeed. Absolutely. Thank you very much for asking. Hope you're doing well yourself. Hope you're doing well yourself. Alright, so. Limbo's passive allows you to gain 10 energy per kill of enemies in a rift. That includes the passage damage if it just happens to kill them. It's a thing. Right. That's a thing. Certainly a thing of all time. Now, what if I'm already in the... I'm going to need to spend some energy somewhere. Invalid target. Of course, I can't just cast it anywhere. I'll just pop some balls over here. That's not going to reach them, is it? No. Guess we'll get rid of some energy real quick. Okay, cool. So, I'm down to roughly 200 energy. If I cast this over here now... That was a wrong test. I need them to be level 1s. There we are. Okay, so, roughly 350 energy. So, okay, me being in the rift doesn't change it. It's them that need to be in the rift, not me. Got it. Go Arsenal then out that resets your energy. Does it now? Okay, so I'm on 302 energy. I'm on 302 energy. You need to make a change. Because like if I do this, now it drops me down to 135. I just didn't feel like switching weapon. It would have been easier. I just didn't feel like it. Scoop. All those energy orbs, I didn't get to max energy. Alright, so. Right, saying this is what I suggest. Perigale, Sharpshooter plus Blind Rage. Yeah, so that'll give you the 25 energy on top of the 10 energy per kills. You'll get 35 energy, which is perfectly doable. Sure, why not? It does limit you into snipers, but it is an option. That's really just an energy maintain option, one of the many out there. Do I even have that mod? If it's called Sharpshooter, I do not. Wonderful. I think if you click upgrade on anything and go back, it works. Let's have a look. Max energy. Upgrade. Back out. So it does. The more you know. The more you know. Let's go relay. Because then Sharpshooter is Yao, or is it the Hexis store?
This is how I can help you. Help the sanctuary.
Hexis store. Here we go.
Welcome, Tino.
Hexis is this side. There we. That's New Loca. Hexis is this side, I said. Yep, I knew that. Hi there, Sharpshooter. Yes, please. Thank you. Now I own it.
Honors were well earned, Tenno.
How do I not own that mod? How do I not own that mod?
These
Fixed.
honors were well earned.
I might as well pick up the rest of these whilst I'm here. I'm not using Vita's Essence for anything else. Shoot energy orbs, obtain them with 110% extra effect. Some pistol, rifle, shoot health orbs. You know, I changed my mind. I don't actually want those. It also reduces damage, right? Cautious shot. It used to reduce self-damage, but then 1, it was pointless because 1% of damage still killed you, and 2, we don't self-damage anymore. That's a thing. Okay. Have I looked at Exodia Epidemic at all? Exodia Epidemic. The name does not ring a bell, which probably means it was too niche for me to consider. Don't even own it. Increases the duration enemies are suspended in the air after a bullet jump. Oh wait, so after a bullet jump or double jump, slam emits a shockwave forward that suspends enemies in the air for a short period. That short period is 4 seconds at max. Izu, why are we talking about this? What? Of all the things to bring up at this point. Rhino stomp at home, you're not wrong. Yeah, that is... Ow. The wiki goes more into it, it's just neat. I see. Cool. Is there anything on the wiki that I need to care about right now, rather than look into a random thing? Because I'll be honest, I'm not really understanding why you're mentioning it. You may have a perfectly good reason, I'm just not seeing it right now. Nah, okay, right, fair enough then. Cool. Have I looked at Exodia Epidemic at all? Apparently just as much as I did today, which was to go, wow, that sounds like a pile of shit. Moving on. Yeah. I mean, that's a fair point, though. If that is a fair point, I do have prime footed on a lot of stuff. And also, I don't use a lot of highly explosive weapons these days either. So that's a thing. There goes a big gun. Latron. Okay. You can grab it if it appears in Abras. Alright, fair enough, Mitsu. Fair enough. If something amazing happens, let us know on the community Discord. Otherwise, you have fun with your new Exodia when you get it. Anywho. So far, so boring. Cataclysm does Cataclysm things, Stasis does Stasis things, Silence does Silence things. Energy generation from Arcane Energize is helpful. There's a whole, hey, we're killing enemies that are in the Rift, but you gotta get them into the Rift first, which is a whole process. Banish seems to be extremely narrow, so is it worth anything to us? Survey says probably not. I might just switch Silence back again. Yeah. Can you only get 2 encounter weapons a week? With the exception of the ones you can buy for Platinum, yes. Well, from the circuit, yes. You can also get 5 incarnates from the Zaraman at any time. So, technically, you can get as many as 12 incarnates in a single week. It's just... then it is 2 a week thereafter, yes. Resurge at least works well on some always always. Yeah, we'll see how much difference it makes and what I can make of it. There is still the sheer cost to think about. Oh, don't want that. Because Silence isn't exactly a cheap ability either. It's base of 75, so that's going to be rocking through. I really need to refeed it just to move Silence back. I still wonder why D went, hey, here's an experimental system where you can experiment with new abilities and try them out. By the way, every time you feed the system, it has a scaling pressure to force you to not experiment too much. Hey. Have I ever tried Limbo with Aquablades? I've tried various things with Aquablades. Most notably, I've tried Uredi with Aquablades. I don't really see a reason to use it on Limbo, aside from, haha, funny, I'm in the Rift, what are they going to do whilst they just go spinny spinny? Sure, it's an option. It's not the best option. Not a particularly good option, I'll be quite honest. But it exists, you know. Yeah, battle cost remove Archon Shards as well. Like... battle cost on its own, not so terrible. Battle cost with the fact that battle cost scales, and therefore you can do a maximum of something like 7 removals a day. Problem. Here's a time gating addiction. They do that, yes. At least when it comes to things which don't really serve any kind of benefit to time gate. Yeah. Time gating things being added into the chair, I can understand. They wanted to drag that out a bit, keep you coming back, keep you doing other things. It's part of the whole process, and later they added the platinum option as well. Surprised it wasn't there from the start, to be quite honest with you, but there you are. But just feeding it, giving you access to the stuff you've unlocked? Like, imagine if you had to pay. If you had to pay resources every time you took a mod off a Warframe. Can you imagine that? Like, oh, I don't know if I want Streamline on here. Let me take that off. That'll be 10 endo, please. Oh, actually, I wanted that one on. It's the other one I wanted to take off. Put it on. That'll be 20 endo, please. Alright, so now let's take off this. That's 30 endo, please. And put that one on 40 endo, please. Could you imagine if that's how it was set up? Every time you made a mod change on the same day, that's another 10 endo cumulative. And that's a relatively low scaling right there, but even then that would piss people off very quickly. That's what it feels like with this. It's strange to me. It really is strange. To combat endo inflation. Yeah, because that's what we need to be worried about. Endo inflation. Because there are so many people running around with just hundreds of thousands of endo to spare. Yeah, like that's gonna happen. Anyway. Pepeka say, problem with Limbo is the immunity from Overguard. Half the MFs don't get CC'd. Yes, but there are ways around that, Pepeka. Because you see, one, stasis will still stasis their projectile attacks. So any guns will appear to fire blanks, and any grenade launchers, rocket launchers, they'll just drop the projectile in midair until we hit the invisible limit. And secondly, you still will just be locking down all other enemies in the area, which means you just need to focus on that one who is currently firing blanks, and you just deal with them quickly enough they don't hit your limit. So it's not terrible, but it is still something you need to be aware of. Stasis is crucial for Limbo, which also means that Limbo needs to basically act in the rift. It's his entire thing. You still take damage from the bullets if you walk to the bullets? I haven't noticed it happening. Like, I've tried doing it with, for example, the bombard projectiles, and I just kind of walk through them. It's like they're not just held there, they straight up cannot act there. That's the thing. Fork, how many spanners are you going to throw away on this? Fork, how many spanners? You're at 1,500 already. Why are you like this? I would like to be like to see former add polarities instead of replace. Yeah, I've advocated for that as well. You don't understand the purpose of the Kennedy button. It's a renamed version of the Good Vibes button. It's a renamed version of Good Vibes. That's all it is. So yeah. You've added a whole bunch of Kennedy. Congratulations. You can now cast a 5 Kennedy spell. Kennedy is a colorless type, however it also has a bonus towards mathematical type creatures. Yeah, there you are. Anyway. Let's give Limbo a rerun, this time with Silence on the 1. Kennedy deals bonus damage to Ken? No. Doesn't do... Why would Kennedy deal bonus damage to Ken? I don't get that. I don't know where you got that one from. Does Zedric help with Kennedy sustain? No, T does. Zedric helps with energy sustain. This is Kennedy. No, Fork, not a bonus against, a bonus to. Kennedy has a bonus to mathematical. Supports it. Wouldn't there also be some heat or scalding damage involved because of tea? Only if you're doing it wrong. This is actually a very cool mug of tea right now. No, nothing about MTG. I mean, Fork, I know almost nothing, so half the course. I know enough to have a Phyrexian black-blue build that does some stuff occasionally in MTG Arena, and that's it. That's the extent of my knowledge. I had a jump in black-white one, because it gave it to me.
These
okay.
are worthy foes.
Alright, Limbo, let's try this again. We've got Late Run now. We've got Rift Surge instead of Banish. Nice group of enemies, let's just start with this. Oh, he was so close to getting the alarm. Poor guy. I do not have Planchel fitted on. This may turn it to a problem. It literally just knocked me off my feet. Let's just bubble up the area. Activate that. Now that's... Is this a problem with Rift Surge as far as I'm concerned? In that if you Rift Surge enemies, but then kill them, it doesn't count as taking them out of the Rift, and so you're basically throwing it away. So you need to find a way to pop them back out again, which you typically would have to do with like a banish or something, which just seems to be adding to the whole process. And then if we're wanting a banish, and a stasis, and a Rift Surge, and Cataclysm, then we have no room for silence. And I feel like I'm running out of understanding at that point. I think you can play Limbo, you roll too much out of habit? You'd get used to it, I think. Bubble up, stasis up. Silence up as well, because why not? Look at that projectile. He's doing his very, very best. And you can see, no damage from it. At least not for the next 20 seconds. Tattoo Fork, you have found the thing you want to spend your spanners on? Yeah. Okay, if I collapse this, will it then banish them? Yeah, it did do the radio banish. Okay, cool. I forgot to re-equip my companion. I've just realised that Carrier is not equipped. I'm sure that won't cause any problems. Let me just scoop up that energy. Right, yeah, so that rebanished them. I really should have put on Prime Sure-Footed somehow. Time to use silence. We have the stasis. With the piles of money hanging around? Yeah. Credits. Oh, hello. I heard one over here. Beep. Oh, that crunchy sound. That is a very beautiful crunchy sound. Do that, Rift Surge them all, Restasis, clap this bubble, and they'll just stay in the Rift for a bit. Whilst I just wear all of the pickups like a skirt, or really oversized belt. Alright, now we have a threat incoming, so I could really do with having some shots. Misery. Misery loves company. Oh, Latron, you're so strong. I don't know where I took the shot from. There we go. Am I going to do a subathon again? Not sure if I'm going to do one this month or not. I haven't fully planned that through so far, Airsoft. I'll be quite honest with you. I hadn't fully planned that. Is that something you would like me to do? Didn't cast that too early. Oh no, it reached. I'm being very delicate with this just because I don't want to constantly knock myself over. You are not in the rift. Oh, that is the sound of an Xmas unit. Chills plus. There we are. I am now safe thanks to stasis. I immediately knocked myself over. Ah, it's fine. You thought it was fun last year? I mean, we could do one. We could do another one. I need to make sure the rest of the house is aware, of course, but yeah. I'm just gonna pick these guys off. I'm inside the bubble. Ah. I probably should have gone. Hello, Mama Muffy. How you doing? Limbo time? It is indeed limbo time. Still just look at it as a very methodical guy. Really methodical approach we're taking here. Oh, let's use you for a radial banish. Those guys are not in the rift. Let's just pop this here. That'll rift them all. Just dehydrate. I mean, I'm being very methodical at the moment, partly because of the weapon I'm using, and partly because I just want to kind of make sure I have a proper feel for everything before we try speeding it up and looking like an idiot. Because it is very possible to end up looking like an idiot if you try running before you've learned how to walk with a frame. I definitely did not miss that shot at close range. I don't know what you're talking about. Switch signs on banish? Yes, I did. One of the benefits of being methodical is I've got all the energy in the world. Ow. So that's nice. Who is it? It's Violence! Okay, I'm making sure I have silence up. I do. Oh god. No, this is not the time to get knocked over! Okay! Why do I have a debuff on me? What is that debuff? Why do I have a banish debuff on me? What does that mean? How do... Huh? Rift on cooldown. Oh, is that what that was? No. No. No, that doesn't seem to be it. Alright, fuck. I'll do that in a moment. Or Rift Surge. Yeah, I don't have Rift Torrent on, but still, no. Because it's not constantly triggering in various circumstances, so it's not that. That was something to do with violence. Anyway, let's just kind of bounce a few shots around this general area. See if anything survives. Xmas lost his overguard, so he's no threat. Anything still alive? There's a few of them. Not for very long, mind you. Suppose Raptor, you're very right. Yeah, I could end up using that kind of thing as a title. Not sure how many people would get it straight away, but sure, it's an option. I am indeed a tenor. Yes, well done. Yeah, with silence equipped, these guys are really no threat, are they? They can't shoot me. They can't blitz me. They can't do anything. I'm more of a threat to me at this point. I'm just gonna let the bubble shrink a bit. There it is. Radial banish. Didn't go very far. Ow. Get up! Biggest threat to Limbo players himself? Pretty much. Unless you're in a public mission, then your biggest threat is someone else rage quitting and it turns out they were host. That also screwed you up.
The enemy is broken.
Alright,
Well done.
I'm done in this mission.
Now
I'm
get to
just gonna leave.
extraction.
I'm just gonna go. How many Xmas abilities are hard to dodge if no bullets involved? You can get hard surprised by a couple of them. Darn, I have to pop it properly. There we are. So you can get ambushed by an arson Xmas. Seems to happen to me a fair amount.
As you conquer
And then there's the
foe,
energy leech if you don't
so
have
you
some kind
conquer
of status
yourself.
protection. That can do you. Electricity, yeah, that can get you. And then toxin if it just kind of leaves out of nowhere, but that is an infested one. So there's a few of them. But yeah. You could roll through an energy leech pool with a fastened reaction time. Oh yeah, yeah. If you have a fastened reaction time, no Xmas is a problem. If you have fastened reaction time and don't have another million things going on, haven't staggered yourself with your own Latron Prime and Garden, as one is wont to do apparently. As one is wont to do. Well, yeah, I've got a spot there where PSF could go. Or for that matter, I have a spot here for cautious shot, don't I? That is going to be a 10 pipper. Oh, yikes. I do not have a spot for cautious shot. Right, yeah, so, Fork, let's switch over to your request. Let's see, did you make a specificity as to which way? You did not, so we'll go for the lyricals. Not that one. That one you wanted. There you go. Hello, Betty. I'm doing well today. Hope you're doing well yourself. Reverend say, is it true if you don't use it, you lose it? It depends. It depends. Muscles? Yes. Debt? No. The debt will stay there. And Fork, not a lot of people care about the ODJ. Plenty of people are happy to just vibe with whatever the stream's vibe is. You are in the minority who decide to pick what the music's gonna be. That's fine. Right, so let's try and make this quicker. Let's try and make this quicker. And to assist with that, I'm going to go with something suitable for what I'm trying to achieve here. Heat viral. Let's switch this to heat corrosive. Let's switch this to heat corrosive. Simply because that deals with acolytes very nicely. And acolytes are a problem. So yeah, heat corrosive, let's do that. What's the name of this song? This is called Kill It Anyway. Kill It Anyway. This is done by the String Beats people. It's one of their originals, actually. Yeah, if I go for Burst and Limbo, give that a whirl. Burst apparently needs to be ranked up to 30 again still. Sure, that's a thing. But saying quite a painful past 24 hours. PS5 seems to have died. Ooh. And then Health Inspector came to visit as well. Ooh. Betty, dare I ask, which one do you consider worse? Dead PlayStation or the Health Inspector that saw the dead rat in the kitchen? Which is worse to you? I've not made any change to the Limbo builds yet. Let's see if we can make this work as is. Dead health inspectors. Please do not have any dead health inspectors, whether intentional or otherwise. I believe that would go very badly for everyone. Alright, let's pop the bubble here. Stasis up. That's enough charge. Oh, I can open those once in a while. Okay. That, there we go. Alright then, so enemies are safely locked down. Don't know why I thought someone was there. Nope, you're outside the bubble. Can't go with you. If I pop a Rift Surge and then collapse the bubble, maybe then I can. Because maybe they were in range. They were not in range. 3 up stasis. You. How are you primed when you weren't in the rift? Riddle me that one. Yeah. Riddle me that one. How did you... Oh, Hellion jetpack. Okay. I was wondering, wait, how did he get there? Hi. Level itself, Saga. Point blank. Whoop. Are you just gonna burn out? Ah, no. Fairy Rape, welcome in. Alright, walk towards me. Walk in. Walk in. That's it. Now fall out the bubble. Fall out the bubble. Radio vanish. There we are. That was completely pointless. I am not vibing with Rift Surge. I'll be quite honest with you. It just seems. It just seems like the bubble is just more effective. Just more reliable. More visible. Just works. I should have been in the line of sight when I cast that, but it's fine.
Inform the queens we have found their subject.
Rift Surge is slow, banish super narrow. Yeah, we got bubble. We got bubble. Bubble works. How are you? That was weird. It's just been on the edge of it. Made the same mistake of rushing in like that. I should really be in the rift when I go to cast those bubbles. It just be, speaking of, just be more sensible. I need to hack the panel. I'm just gonna do that. That should have caught all of these guys. Yes, it did. Is there one outside of it? That's annoying. Come on, walk around. God damn it. Okay, I'm going to cast that just to see if I can maybe catch some more on the edges of the bubbles. Why have you still not tried to approach me? This guy is literally the worst at his job. Or maybe he's the smartest. He's not dead yet. There we go. He's dead now. He did his very best. And now it's over. Torment is about to, well, torment me. And he's gone. Burst and Prime. Who knew? Who knew? Oh dear God. Ah, distraction. Fuck. I pressed wrong buttons. Diabetic Coma coming out with 25 gifted subs at exactly the moment to throw me off. Not your intent, I know, but it was perfectly timed. You cast Interrupt Ken. Yep. It was a 25 mana ability and damn straight it landed. You completely threw me off for a moment there. At exactly the worst time. At least I had self-revive. Because the operator can't kill them if I'd rifted them. So that worked out, I guess. Wow, that is a lot of subs. We'll have a look at that as soon as I'm out of this mission. Let's just start cleaning up in here, shall we? Ad's going to be going for a moment. There we go. Stun them all. Any Xmas units? Don't see any. Which is really weird, actually. I thought there'd be an Xmas in this spawn. Time banish Rift Surge with enough range to be usable for most missions. Cast Prism is absolutely massive. Yeah. I mean, I could use this here. If he walks towards me, he'll step in, he'll fall out, and that will radial banish them. Not radial banish them. Oh, reasonably mistake.
You have broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction.
Yeah, I'm just going to skip those Xmas units and leave. I'm happy to just get out of here. How did that not pop that? Where did I... Weird. Alright. And there we go. Right then. Okay, let's have a look at this here. So, Diabetic Coma with the 25 gifted subs. Joining on to the third place on that leaderboard there. That went out to the Official Lip, to Ajax, to Minion, to Night D, to the Archgamer, to Ascurus, to Akrons, to Vifug, to Moonfleur, to Rushagel, I think that says. Rusehagel? I have no idea. Sorry. Seems far too non-English for me to handle. To Job B, to Kahe Magic, to... What? Igor Bikrani? Igor Bikrani? I'm going with that. To Danky Gang, to Quartz Occult, to Jazz Banjo, to Twilight Goddess, to Haptic Simeon, to Mega Boss War, to TT Boy, to Akira, to CB Draw, and to Coco. No, Coca, I should say, to Heroic Vanguard, and to Cannonball 1712. So if any of you got a gifted sub from Diabetic over there, make sure you give them a thanks, as that was incredibly generous. Do appreciate that, my dude. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The initial cast doesn't break boxes. It does. It was just the what do you call it? Spinny thing that wasn't affected. Hello, Twilight. How you doing? Let's see online we're actually awake. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. Hope you're doing well, Twilight. Hope you are doing well at the moment. We're giving Limbo a rundown. Hegel or Reuse, how most people call me. Let's go with Hegel then. Or Reuse. Probably Hegel. Yeah, because not Bagel, so that works. Hegel better than Bagel. Got it. That's how I remember it now. I won't. Limbo, the most expensive box opener that always sometimes works. Boxes, yes. Spinny things, no. Yeah, that'd be what it'd do. I just say happy to give Ken more money for his phone fund. Honestly, I appreciate it. In a few days' time, was it? Yeah, Saturday is when I plan to go out and replace this thing. It is on its way out. Hey, you want a bagel? You don't want a bagel. You don't want a bagel. There are various reasons you... Do I do this again, chat? Do I rant once again about a dough product? For the hell of it? Ray seeming a little bit concerned, understandable. I could just find the clip. I could just find the clip. Let's see. Hold on. Content, clips by channel. If I just search for bagel, does that not search my clips for the word bagel? Nope, that does not search the clips for the word bagel. It searches for bagel games. That's not how this works. Alright, we'll search by views. Elephantis, Distraction, Golden, Crikey. Why is Crikey got... Whatever. Guacamole, make it so... Oh, good God. I'm trying to find a clip and more stuff is happening. Ah! You're Lucky Clover. Thank you very much for raiding on in here. Welcome on in. How are you doing today? Bring it along. 43 crazy people there from Clover Stream. You have to be crazy to enjoy Clover. In a good way, of course. But I know you're all crazy. Welcome on in. We finding bagels here. What? Oh, God. How... You've just raided in. How are you aware about the bagel conversation? You've just raided in. How are you aware of the bagel conversation that is going on? This doesn't make sense to me and slightly concerns me. Right, fine. That's it. That's it. We're doing this now. Full rant time. Full rant time. So, bagels. They're stupid. Okay. Bagels are stupid. They don't make sense. They don't make sense. Because a bagel is basically just... done up to be a sandwich item. You cut it open, you shove your fillings in and put it back together and there's your sandwich. But why? What is wrong with just a good old sandwich?
Well, you all know the drill. Give Ken your money. Return to rant. Apologies, Ken.
Betsy, thank you very much for the 200 bits. Yes, chat. Give me your money. Anyway, so... we already have a sandwich, Twyla. Twyla, I'm directing you now, Twyla, because one, you said you wanted a bagel, and two, you've just defended it with, but they can be a sandwich, so flavorful. You know what else could be a sandwich? A sandwich. We have sandwiches. We've invented this. We've figured this out. A sandwich is just a sandwich. But now we've got a bagel, which has got a hole in the middle, where your filling goes. Why is there a hole in the middle of your sandwich? If you really feel the need to be on a diet or something, if you just need less sandwich, make less sandwich. It's fine. You can do that. So if we usually make a sandwich, get my filling all done, then cut a circle in the middle, remove it. Isn't that normal? It's not normal, and yet people call it a bagel. Round sandwich? You can have round sandwiches. Round doesn't require a hole in the middle. It's fine. No sympathy. At no point in your life do I think you have ever been normal, and I've known you for a very tiny fraction of that, and I think I am fair in that assessment. Just saying. Will you use different breads for your sandwich? You can have different breads, it's fine. It's just, why is there a hole in the middle of it? You don't need it. I've had people try and defend it like, oh, but it's part of the cooking process. I'm like, we cook bread just fine. And you know what it doesn't have? A thumping great hole in the middle of it. If you get a loaf with a giant hole in the middle, you've made a mistake. And yet someone else made a mistake at some point and went, you know what? I'm really good at marketing. Next thing you know, we got a bloody bagel. Even if you come up with some contrived ideas as to how to use the hole, they're contrived. It's not necessary. Just bagel, no, done. Normal sandwich it. It's fine. Bagels are silly. And so far, I have not had someone explain it to me otherwise. Bagels are silly. Well, in the toast bread based product did you come back to? I went on a bagel rant. Twilight came in. Bagels got brought up. Then Clover raided in. No sympathy, he just added what they do best to it. You're great, dude. Do you want a salty donut? Here's a bagel. Just pointless. Just utterly pointless. So, there is the basics of the bagel rant. Somewhere in the clip history are yet more clips of my assaults against bagel kind, quite frankly. Are donuts pointless too? I mean, you can just have a, proper normal donut. You don't need a ring donut. You can have a donut with a filling in it. Nice jammy donut. Lovely, sweet strawberry jam
donut.
filling
How to
in the
make
middle of the
my
donut.
user canon 101.
Salty donut. How to make my users canon. Right. Ah, yes, Betty. It took me a moment. It took me a moment to figure out what you meant there. Your username. Right. Got it. Thank you very much for the 100 bits. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So I say, I don't think I've ever thought, hey, I want a salty bagel. Do you have your bagels with no salt in the recipe? Oh god, it's getting even worse. Longshot asking, hey Ken, is it true you shouldn't use Serration and Heavy Caliber on the same build because of diminishing returns? At this point, Longshot, you shouldn't use Heavy Caliber, period. But yes, diminishing returns is a big part of it. It's not that you should never, but at least in old school setups, you'd have to have exhausted your other options, basically. But, yeah, Heavy Caliber at this point is just not got a place because there are so many better additive damage options. Like, substantially better. When you consider that Heavy Caliber here, all that End are invested for the same damage as Serration, and there are builds which don't use Serration these days. So if Serration can't make the cut, how can the more expensive, less beneficial mod ever find a spot? Yeah, it's out. Yeah, the only reason to use Heavy Caliber these days is for the accuracy penalty, not for the damage bonus. Now that is very niche. Bummer Buffy asking, if bagels didn't have holes, where would we get our donut holes from? We weren't friends. You've just excluded your ability to ever become my friend. Just want to let you know that. Just want to let you know that, Bummer. No. No. I'm not even reading that out. I'm not even reading that out. Let's get first the hole of the bagel. Oh, good God. The hole. Holes are invented before bagels. Just saying. Alright, Idol just wanted to be 2035. Yep, Idol, you can be 2035. Off you pop. We will see you in 33 minutes and some seconds. 55 seconds. For a moment, Twitch popped up and said I timed you out for 33 minutes and 55.001 seconds. Gotta say, Twitch, not only did I not do that, what the hell? Anyway, Twitch being Twitch things. By the way, those of you raided in, I'm not always this ranty and silly. Sometimes there is also mathematics as well. And also there are giveaways. Doing a platinum giveaway. If you want to be joining into that, exclamation mark ticket in the chat for a chance to win a little bit of platinum. Doesn't matter what platform you are on. Exclamation mark raffle if you have no idea what the hell I just said because I said it so quickly. But yes. Yes. I would say Heavy Caliber might have an argument on Ignis Ray for restoration for the accuracy penalties, get more AoE and Flamethrower. Does it affect it even that much? I think it even affects that much. Plus the AoE doesn't actually benefit from multi-shots. The AoE on the Ignis is also a problem. Just a problem. Also, sometimes I rant about Warframe not doing math consistently. That is true, Raptor. Yes, that is true. I do also rant about Warframe being inconsistent. The whole Butcher level 10 Vault thing the other day, honestly, broke me slightly. I still don't have an explanation for that one. How do I feel about the Prime that's given away at TennoCon? You mean Got for Prime? Zom has already linked it for you. I have made a whole video on Got for Prime. Check it out. Already got it covered. In a nutshell, it's mid-tier. It's mid-tier. Lord Arcus, cheers. Still broken from testing accuracy. I raised accuracy with the Augment team of DE. When we were in the park, I managed to grab a couple of people from the Augment team. Rather, they grabbed me, actually. I had to ask, what the hell was up with accuracy? And all they could do was laugh. That was the entire answer I got. They just laughed. So I thank them for making the Gyro Augment, thank them for making the Varuna Augment, both of them wonderful to use. And we left it at that when it came to those details. We got on to other happier topics. You find the Bursting Prime with Incarnate to be 100% better? I mean, Bursting Incarnate is absolutely proper pog. Gotva is a... Gotva is a gift to those of you who need mastery or have not got access to mid-tier prime weapons yet. Certainly newer players are going, oh my god, this is amazing! And if you just wanted a no-nonsense assault rifle, it worked. It was a no-nonsense assault rifle with no effort because you already had it. Anyway. Let's see. One enemy on their own. This is going to be a complete waste of every resource I have. Are you kidding me? I'll catch him as he's running away. Idiot. Other topics like void traces. Oh, I didn't raise that with the Augment team. I raised that with Zach. Zach took my comments about the traces. I also raised it with Repress. Just saying. Just saying. Got the satisfying the sound department. Oh, true. Yeah. A lot of weapons are, but yeah, got the raise as well. Right then, that'll do. Charge this up. Stasis ready. Rampage! And good night, idiots. That's all enemies are, idiots. I say having forgotten to equip my companion again. Please pay no attention to that. Yeah, Gotva has absolutely nothing on this weapon. Absolutely nothing. That was close. There we go. That put them all in the rift. Not all of them. That bombard is getting away. There we are. I'll use it later right now. No, this is the Bursting Prime Incarnate. What do I recommend for the final evolution of the item? In most cases, I would recommend using the massive damage bonus. The one on non-critical hits. Hi guys. Hi guys. No, give me a second, I'm bleeding. Thanks. Sound and art team's been killing it for years. Oh yeah, the sound and art teams in DE basically are just incredible. Genuinely S tier in themselves. In fact, I dare say, if it weren't for them being quite as good as they are, I don't know that Warframe would even be a fraction as popular as it is. Like, we can overlook a lot. We can overlook a hell of a lot for the fact that this game is just so beautiful to look at and listen to.
We've decided you're bad for business.
Oh, that's going to be a bunch of Xmas. I'm ready for that. Silence up. Okay, that was too slow. Oh shit, they're all in the rift now. I can't hurt them in the rift as operator. D plus. Ah, there's no enemies here. I'm dead. God damn it. Silence up. Bubble up. No energy. Stasis. I don't know why I think this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. That's overguard removed. Overguard removed. Overguard removed. What is that happening over there? Main thing is removing the overguard because then they're not a threat. There we go. Now I can just kill them. There we are. It's fine. I did silence them, Betty. They just shot me. A different kind of silence. They showed that, you know, the whole adage about the best form of stealth is just killing everything still works. That was completely unnecessary assassination, and it was fun all the same. Oh, that one I can't assassinate. Of course not. It's fine, Jack. Get your staff looking for some EDM? Yeah, sure. Let me switch this over. We are on EDM. Go. Death is the best crowd control? True. It works very well against acolytes. The only thing that works against acolytes. Oh, the red crits. Actual red crittage. It's so beautiful. Let's pop this up here. Have them all stopped. Mania is spawning. I'm going to get ready for Mania. Back into here. Thank you very much. Death. I was painfully aware of stasis on the edge running out there. Which is why I was being a little bit too skittish. But it worked. It worked. Right, pop the bubble, start a new bubble right here. See, that broke it. Pop. Pop. Oh, not quite. Ooh, gods! I didn't realise there was another one right there. How did you... How did you hit me? I'm in the bubble. Axe. It's the only explanation. Hacks. The NPC was hacking. There we are. Bug frame, hacking. That's what we should call it now. Every time it bugs out, the NPCs are hacking. That was a bit close. Am I still being shot? No, it's just that's weird. That is weird. Never seen that before, I'll be honest with you. Never seen that before. If I do this as well, next time they jolt forwards, yep, radial vanish. Oh god. Computer is a cheating bastard? Well, don't date your computer then. Does stasis stop you from knowing the weapon? Huh. Yet more limbo nerfs. D+, stop. Oh, that looks bad. And it's no longer bad. I'm fine. Seriously though, this weapon is exceedingly strong. Yeah, it's nearly single target, but it's still exceedingly strong. Who even needs Rift Torrent at that point, you know?
Another successful mission. Find extraction.
It just carves through them all. Right. I'm just gonna head to extraction. I've done my bit here. So let's think about what other things we can do with Limbo then. Let's think about what other things we can do with Limbo. We got the basics here of 4, 2, and silence on the 1. 3 is optional, 1 is optional. They don't seem to have that big an impact either of them. The 1 and 3 together certainly have an option. Do I have a ribbon for that thing? I don't think I've got a ribbon on it, no. Don't know if I even own a ribbon for it. That's just burst and priming cannon doing burst and priming cannon things. Let's see here. Ribbon? 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 I do have a ribbon. I have done nothing with said ribbon. Despite the ribbon disposition, I've done absolutely nothing with it. Could you imagine what that could get up to? Let's find out. I'm going to get distracted again, it's fine. Whilst I get distracted, someone mentioned earlier about the possibility of a... What do you call it? They're called subathons? Yeah, subathon. That's the word, isn't it? I don't know why, the word just left me for a moment. Subathon.
Taste.
Bits for Kuvalak.
Betty, thank you very much for the Kubaluk. Hopefully it's what I need. Can do the breach surge synergy? Yeah, we can give that a whirl. We can give that a whirl. Let's get spinning on this for a moment. So, what does it sound? Oh! Okay. I mean, we're picking up 60% status chance from the 60/60 mods already on it, so... Oh! That's a roll! It's not the best possible roll, but hot damn, that was a good solid roll right there. You know, it's just we can confirm that one, yeah. All right, let's just spend a little bit of endo on that. Yeah, that was nice. Can't read because mobile screen is tiny. Can someone read the stats? Yeah, so that is plus 244.2% critical chance, plus 164.8% heat, minus 61.6% status chance, which, considering I typically use two 60/60 mods, it counts as a status of one of the 60/60s. So that is effective. That is effective right there. Problem is, how am I going to shuffle this around to fit? Because I'm going to replace the Hellfire mod. I mean, obviously, that's a straight replacement, and then just boom, crit chance. So that's just a win. Or I could replace the point strike and get loads more heat. With galvanized scope on here, that's a genuine question, actually. Do I want to go for the more crit chance or the more heat? In terms of what mod I replace here. No idea, Drugstore. We don't know when Glaive Prime's coming back. It just happens when it does. Oh, you're Insomniac, yeah. Ribbons are a silly mechanic. But hey, if we've got it, might as well use it. Might as well use it. So, let's see. If I, can I... Yes. If I do that... No, that doesn't work either. Because I could do that. That fits. So I trade out Point Strike for the burst of Riven there, giving me plus 90% effectively on the crit chance, and takes my heat up a stonking big jump. Making heat more than the corrosive, which is probably for the best. Need another former? Yeah, I might end up needing another former. But you know what? Let's do the numbers, shall we? Let's do the numbers. Let's math this out properly. Let me show you how we do this. So if we switch over my screens here, because we can bring out the notepad. There it is. It was supposed to be there a moment ago, but I switched the screens wrong. So, let's look at it first of all unribboned. And we'll be looking obviously at the Incarnon stats. That's where our concern is. So, the stats that we've got written down here, and I understand this isn't all the stats. Work with me here. So we got 125% CC, we have got a 6.6 CD. Status, we'll take that into... No, we're not taking that into account. We don't actually care about the status in this setup here, so I'll skip over that. Fire rate is not changing because we don't actually need to worry about that. We just need to care about crits and elemental. That's the entire consideration here. So it's 104.5 heat and 66 corrosive. And that is applying to both the radial and the normal, so we'll just roll with that as is. Yeah, we'll roll with that as is. Now that's the base stats, as read across here, which means that the crit chance, when we activate Galvanized Scope, that's going to give us a maximum of a 320% bonus, on top of Point Strike's 150. So we do 125 divide by 2.5, so that's taking away the Point Strike. And then we multiply it by 2.5 plus the bonus we get from Galvanized Scope, which I said was 320%. 105 divided by 2.5 is 50, obviously. Multiply that by 2.5 plus 3.2, that will give us a crit chance of 285%. Hence why I'm getting so many red crits. Crit damage is not going to change. The heat damage as referenced, well, we're not getting a variable heat, so we don't need to actually consider the variable pure damage from primary deadhead. We don't need to care about the multi-shots. We can just take these numbers as a straight multiplier. We can just straight multiply. which means we could just add together the heat and the corrosive, which gives us 170.5. So all told, that's our base stats, and that gives us an effective multiplier that we're working with. Times that by 1 plus 2.85 times 5.6. One plus 2.85 times 5.6. That comes out to a multiplier of 2891.68. Bear in mind that's not the DPS. This is just a comparison number. That's base. Now, if we put the ribbon over the heat mod, that ribbon will be giving us 74.8% more heat. Okay. In fact, we can have a look as to what that would do. So that would bring the heat stat up to 145.7. So ribbon on heat. Heat becomes 145.7. Total with the corrosive becomes 211.7. Here it does. Total elemental. Some serious GCSE maths here? Yeah, basically. GCSE, sorry. For those of you who are not from the UK, GCSE refers to ages... what's that? There's 13 to 15. Age 13 to 15, mathematics. It's the General Certificate for Secondary Education, GCSE, isn't it? Anyway, itchy nose. So we've replaced the heat mod, we get that. The crit chance would change. This whole sum here would get an additional, well, addition, which would be 2.442. So the crit chance would rise to... ...407.1%. That is a beautiful bit. What's the 5.6? So the 5.6 is the critical damage. It's the critical bonus. Because the critical damage you see in the arsenal is what you get on a yellow crit, which is your normal damage plus 1 critical bonus. So that's why we got that. I sometimes talk about critical bonuses in videos to account for the fact that it's an easy number to work with when you're talking about the actual stats. Yeah. So, that would be our crit chance, our elemental modifier. So we've run the numbers on this again, but with the new stuff, we've got now 211.7 multiplied by 0.071. That comes out to I've done something wrong. Yeah, I didn't put in them. I missed a decimal point. One moment. Missed a decimal point in my calculator, and it gave me a really silly answer. Now I have an answer of 5038. Let's do the decimals. 5037.95. Which is one hell of a bonus. Is this stream beats EDM? It is indeed. That's not conclusive, Raptor. That's base. That's putting the ribbon on the heat. Now we're going to put the ribbon on the point strike instead. Which means we keep that mod on and see how much heat we get this time. Which is now up to 195.2. So heat 195.2. Total elemental would be 195.2 plus 66. Can't be bothered to do the math in my head anymore. There we go. The crit chance would be almost like this, but this term goes down to 1. It's figure out what it would be. That would be a 332.1% critical chance, still an increase, as we expect. Which leads us then to this term, or rather this equation. This is 261.2 multiplied by 3.321. And that comes out to... This is why people use actual spreadsheets and calculators rather than doing it by hand. This is very slow. But it comes out to that. Would you look at that? That was very close. Very, very close in terms of the numbers there. Exceedingly close. In fact, if I divide one in by the other, putting it over the crit mod, replacing the crit mod rather than replacing the heat mod, it's only a 1.6% difference. Ooh, that is close. But that's just on direct damage calculation there for the standard enemies. So choose the one that doesn't require the former. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, which is take off point strike. Now this does give us a lot more heat weighting as well, which is good for heat procs. Not so good for corrosive, but corrosive we don't need that much anyway. This is less good for things which are weak to crits, but it's not the end of the world. When I say weak to crits, I mean take more damage from criticals than they do from elemental scaling. Racing, Wayfinder update. Server lag was discovered that every time people loaded into town or free roam, it would reload your and everyone's inventories. Oh, is that what was causing it, Ray? Right, fair enough then. That's rather than fix that, they're putting inventory. It's... Why does it even need to load other people's inventories? What? What? I mean, this is various levels of multiplayer netcode in a nutshell. I'm not a programmer, I am aware of some of these bits. Like, you reduce the amount of requests you're sending to your players as much as possible. You don't need to send every little iota of information about another character at all time. Certainly not in town spaces where there's going to be lots of people anyway. Oh dear. I don't know if this is a problem with design, or if it's a problem with management, or if it's a problem with budgets to not have the opportunity to really think these things through, because deadlines. I don't know what it is. But the fact that, firstly, this problem occurs across multiple games, and multiple devs are not learning from each other on that. And then second, that the solution is to apply inventory limits. I mean, all that does really is kick the can down the road. Because either A, you're going to end up with more items than your inventory can reasonably handle, a la Minecraft, or B, you're going to have it where, oh yeah, it's stable now for whatever value of inventory is set up, but when you get more complicated inventories, which have more demands in terms of memory, because that kind of thing happens, and you get more players into an event or something, it's going to collapse again. So Psychotic Rant saying, I could be wrong, but I think the Diabolist said it's a coding issue. Yeah, no shit. If that's what the dev said, then congratulations. Yes, programming a computer game that has issues is a matter of programming it. Yes. Yes. When a programmer tells you it's a coding issue, they say, yeah, our job, it's our job to do it. Okay, then we'll go do it. Oh, okay, alright, that's a thing. I've already given my review on Wayfinder Early Access. We'll see what it's like when it hits full release and goes free to play. But I've already given my review on early access, and there is a reason it's not made it to my main channel, because I don't want to put out loads of negative videos, frankly. If I were to give it a score, I would give it a 2 out of 5 right now. Which is not a compliment. So yeah. Programmers just told on themselves. Oh, it's an issue because we effed up? Yeah, basically, yeah. What they probably mean is, oh, it's a serious deep code issue that we need to completely refactor stuff to resolve. It's like, yeah. And from the decades of experience of things that have been created, that's where you learn from it to know not to do that. That's where you learn from the people who've gone before you and go, oh, look at these pitfalls. Let's not do that. Which again brings me back to either a management issue or more likely a deadline issue. Gotta get the stuff out, gotta appease the investors and the shareholders, gotta have something that starts making money, because programmers that make things work smoothly are a drain versus programmers that make things sell are positive. Yeah. It's an unfortunate frequent thing in programming design. Like, at the end of the day, you can paint yourself into a corner in 20 million technical ways. I do not envy that kind of situation whatsoever. I do not. You can paint yourself into so many different corners in terms of well, programming in general. Doesn't make me as a consumer any happier about it or any more compassionate towards it. Especially when it is an issue that recurs across games but isn't required, isn't something that just has to exist. It's a mistake, and it is a pretty damning one. Alex, spitballing an idea as to why it might happen, the way it handles new player entities enter the space, could push them into the list in a way as to restructure the list, making it have to touch all the other bits of the memory in the process, that reload every inventory. One of many ways of it, yeah, sure. Without seeing the code, I wouldn't even understand what I'd be looking at it. I have only a very superficial understanding of these things. I have coded little bits here or there, enough to know that I don't know enough. But I do know that from the perspective of quality, repeating an issue that your not colleagues, competitors, contemporaries, that's a word. Repeating mistakes that your contemporaries have made, not a good look. Repeating moderately critical mistakes, not a good look. Yeah. Something like loading an entire person's inventory just seems needless. With connection speeds as we have them, a little bit of delay on someone's appearance updating, if they change their inventory, not a problem. A little bit of a delay in opening up a trading interface were it to exist for understanding the other person's inventory, not a problem. Some things just don't need to be loaded all the time. Anyway, I'm not going to rant too much about something that honestly I am not qualified enough to rant about. It's not a good look. So let's re-equip Carrier for the first time in however long that I took it off. And so Warframe having placeholder Excal. I mean, it works, doesn't it? What would be a better solution? Placeholder Excaliburs, or players are limited on how many cosmetics they can have? Imagine if you were told, nope, sorry, you're not allowed to pick up the accessory from Tenocon. You already purchased 200 Syndanas and other bits and pieces. Yeah, that'd suck. Oh, is it expensive math is cheap? Yes, it is. My mind always boggles just how efficient computers are at mathematics. Like, I can know it, I can understand it, I can see it happening, and still my mind boggles at just how capable computers are at mathematics. When you understand what the word teraflop means, I realised just what that represents happening inside of your computer. It is mind-shattering. Doesn't make a lick of sense. Exactly, Skeleraptor, yeah. Can you imagine? The demands for refunds would be wild. Right, yeah, I've just kind of dickered around and ranted and not actually gone ahead with the next shenanigans with Limbo here. Let's do the next shenanigans with Limbo. What's happening with Limbo? Testing, understanding, making them good. So this was working quite well in terms of a solo approach, solo through Exterminate, and we're just using the 4-2 approach, which can be used just in ordinary stuff as well. This was using it with no Rift Torrent, because there's a complete lack of strength and just unwise investment as it is. Honestly, I'm quite happy with it where it is. Wait, no. Hang on. Didn't notice that was there. I could drop that for, how much are you doing? Oh, that's quite a bit. Yeah, so I can drop that there. I can use Archon Shards to make up the difference. Hooray for Archon Shards. How else do I want to balance this? I'm thinking if I can recover any strength here, but it's a bit tight. What do I think about using Rift Charge with other players around? Well, obviously other players will just kind of, you know, ruin it for you. You'd have to be able to use Limbo in normal play rather than over soloing it with him. Yeah, he runs into the issue that Frost runs into. He runs into the issue that Frost runs into, and that is very simply, they both create barriers across which players can't interact unless they are on the right side of that barrier. Only, unlike Frost's barrier, where you just walk through the snow globe, and it only is the snow globe, Limbo's barrier is a literal plane of existence. If Limbo banishes enemies, the only thing allies can do to them is use abilities, which just sucks. And I don't really know a way around that. Because if you make it where you can shoot across the rift normally, doesn't that just make Limbo all the more ridiculous? Let's think about that. I'm gonna... Let's think about this, actually. Oh, Ray with Nova Wayfinder update. Limits will also roll over to customizable houses. You eventually only be able to change loadouts at beacon outposts. It feels like a stopgap, Ray. It feels like the quickest fix they could do to stop hemorrhaging players due to lag. That's what it sounds like to me. So, let's bring out the notepad again. I do still have it set up and the notepad comes on stream. Yes, I do. Cool. Let's bring out the notepad again. So, Limbo issue. Allies get frustrated when trying to shoot enemies on the wrong plane of existence. That's the issue, right? If that issue didn't exist, then people wouldn't have an issue with Limbo. Am I wrong? If you could shoot an enemy across the rift, just normally, as a matter of fact, no one would have an issue with Limbo. It's crucial I'm accurate in that assessment before we move on. Also, picking up materials? Not a complete sentence, Scale. Could you be a bit more specific? Limbo players themselves have issue with Xmas units. No, I'm talking about the multiplayer aspect. We've already covered actually throughout the rest of this stream how Limbo deals with Xmas units himself, so that's not a problem. Mostly it's silence, but also Xmas units will still be rifted, and therefore their projectile attack stasis. You just need to watch out for the abilities themselves, which you can react to. Yeah, sorry, good licks. That's the thing about live streams. I can't just re-repeat it every 5 seconds, or 5 minutes, or whatever. You know what I mean. Pretty much cast frames exempt. Yeah. Not visually clear which enemies are banished, that's part of it. I mean, even if it's visually clear, even if you know what you're looking for, you go, oh, for God's sake, it's rifted. I can't do anything to him. Can a player shoot an enemy, same dimension with a rift bubble between them? Yes, Maximage. So long as you and your target are on the same plane of existence, you're fine. The rift bubble creates a different zone. Even if your projectile goes through it, it'll just come out the other side and be back into normal space again, and then hit the enemy. Likewise, if you're in a bubble and they're rifted, but there's normal space between you, you can still shoot them too. So that's not a problem. And somebody's saying it's still the minor issue of stasis defense, and that's because defense sucks. Yeah. What if the rifted stuff is actually on another plane, so it'll not be visible to each other? It's still there, it's still going to hold up the mission, especially if anything that'll make exterminates worse, because enemies will pop in behind you that you had no idea were there, even if you had abilities to shoot them with. So no, that's definitely an option. But if it seems like no one's really disagreeing about this issue. Mentions about other things or maybe related things, but you're not saying anything else against this. So I'm going to say this is an accurate assessment. Big Limbo issue for multiplayer is that allies get frustrated when trying to shoot enemies on the wrong plane of existence. So the busted fix would be allow everyone to shoot across the rift. That would fix it, but it's busted. It's busted because Limbo could rift walk and kill freely, which is no good. Allies or warframes in the rift would become too powerful. So the new issue, warframes in the rift are too powerful if we do it that way. But then the fix that occurs to me, you can shoot into the rift but not out of it. Or if allies just ignore the rift entirely, shooting out and be shot at. I don't think we really want to have a distinction where Limbo is worse at rift than his allies are. If Limbo, the master of the rift, has more constraints on him than every other warframe, that just seems a bit of a break. With this fix, you can shoot into the rift but not out of the rift. So players, if you get put into the rift by Limbo, he banishes you, you can only shoot other banished things, but you can still just step out at any time by dashing, just like today. If the players are out of the rift, and Limbo bubbles a whole group of enemies to stasis them, because Limbo needs stasis enemies to be alive, all the players can still shoot them. Isn't this too kind of OP as the enemies can essentially never hurt you? Only if you rift them. And if you can rift them, you can stasis them. And if you can stasis them, then they're not a threat. And if Limbo rifts a bunch of enemies but doesn't go into the rift himself, he's vulnerable to the other enemies that can't be stasis, because they're not in the rift. Question, why would it be busted? Revenant can make the whole team unkillable. Why shouldn't Limbo be able to do that? Because Revenant can make the team unkillable as far as those charges last. Once they run out, Revenant needs to reapply those. The allies need to be in range, various bits along that side. Plus, Revenant is actually an example of it becoming busted, to be quite honest. Refreshable immortality at low energy cost is kind of busted. Alternatively, your allies get Limbo's dodging passive. So whilst there's a Limbo in your squad, you say dodging puts you in the rift. I can see a lot of people hating that. Hello, Archeofix. I'm doing alright. Hope you're doing well. Basically the same as in Snare or Condemn. Enemies are hard CC'd and everyone can attack them. Yeah, basically, yeah. It's hard crowd control. Rifting an enemy becomes a form of hard crowd control. The enemies can still run around, but otherwise they're still just crowd control. It's more like the enemies become blinded, and then hard CC'd if they're stasis as well. Oh, sure, they can see you, but they can't do anything about it. Might as well be blinded. Maybe disarmed is the better word. The enemies are more likely they're disarmed if they're in the rift, yeah. To go out for spy missions, you bring your invisible frame. Limbo lets you get past the rift. I mean, Limbo can just banish you already. Well, see now, if that's something you want to do, Limbo can already banish allies, and then they can just go through the lasers. I don't see the need to force people to dash into the rift all the time. That would create its own issues. Whereas this clears up most of the issues. The only issue that would be left here, and there will be a couple issues left. One is that if you subsume banish onto a Warframe, it can banish enemies and then deal with them with impunity. But is that really that big a problem considering what other options exist? They might want to nerf the duration on the banish that's subsumable, but that's about it. You're just playing Limbo Serium, where can you find his blueprint? Did you not get it from the quest, or is it from the market? Limbo... Oh yeah, the blueprint's in the market. Here you go. That's where you go, Victor. If in doubt, check the market. It happens for a number of frames. Some of them you get them from the quest, or their drop source, some of them you don't. You're welcome, Victor. Buffing it in this way would give Banish more reason to be subsumed. Exactly, yeah. So Banish on Subsume would be stronger. But duration could be nerfed. Similar to how Dispensary's duration is nerfed. Don't nerf the 63-second golf ball Banish. It's only if they find it to be too ridiculously powerful. They can either duration could be nerfed, or subsumed banish can't banish overguarded units. That would certainly keep the Xmas threat up. You banish all the normal ones just fine. But then the Xmas units, only Limbo has the power to banish them. That could be a balancing factor they could use there to keep Limbo's identity. Something like that. In current iteration, can Limbo shoot Rift immune enemies while in the Rift? If the Rift immune enemies are placed into a Cataclysm, yes. That's why whenever I was fighting Acolyte, I was putting a bubble down so that I still had stasis to protect me from other enemies while still shooting the Acolyte. Yeah. Yeah, if Banish as a subsume needed a nerf, then that could be done. The only other concern is that allies in a Rift would still be unable to shoot out of the Rift. So, for example, Cataclysm, if you're put into a Cataclysm, you would need to actively leave it to shoot out of the Rift like you do today. That would still be an issue. So people would still be annoyed by needlessly placed Cataclysms. Hell, that could even be a Cataclysm Augment. Cat Augment, I'm going to spell that out probably. Cataclysm Augment to allow everyone to shoot out of the Rift or Cataclysm while in a Cataclysm. That could be an augment. How about giving allies in Cataclysm Limbo's dash passive? Doesn't matter, Maximage, because if you dash out of the Rift inside a Cataclysm, you re-arrive in the Rift. So that would make no difference. Limbo's passive is nearly non-functional in the Rift. Or at least that particular passive. Its other two passives are fine. Hello, Warlord. I'm doing alright. Hope you're doing well. Choc say, if you could shoot into Rift, Silence Limbo can just banish and kill to get the energy. Yeah, but if Limbo is banishing and then shooting from normal world into Rift, Limbo is vulnerable to enemies which are not rifted because he can't stasis them. At that point, Limbo would want to be in the Rift as well, to be safe because he's stasis the enemies in the Rift, And at that point then, it's net zero. We're back to where the game currently is at the moment. Banish the whole room? Oh, sure, yeah, you can go ahead and banish the whole room. You could do that today, Jock. You can banish the whole room today and then just hit stasis. Job done. The only things that would survive that are Xmas units and... Oh, sorry, overguarded units and then special units like the Acolytes. Acolytes already tried to take themselves out of the Rift anyway, and that just leaves the overguarded units, which stasis again shuts down their weapons. Nullifiers? Yeah, nullifiers will also pop a Cataclysm, so yeah. Stasis has a radius to it? Where? Where's the radius on stasis? I'm not aware of one. You might be thinking of Rift Surge or Banish or Cataclysm or literally any of that. Stasis is just if the enemy is in the Rift. You meant Banish. Alright, that's not what you said at all. You can't say mistyped. No, you just put the wrong word in. That's not like a typo. You straight up said the wrong word. It's fine. You're fine. I still remember from the Beowulf discussion. We're not friends, but you're fine. Thought the right thing, type the wrong thing. Yeah, it happens. Sometimes when you try to word, you end up wording wordingly, and it just doesn't word. I know what you mean. Anyway, yeah, in terms of making Limbo more accessible to multiplayer play, I do think this pair of changes could do it. Well, this specific change, you could shoot into the Rift but not out of the Rift. Yeah, Bama. Yeah, I get it. This does make it where Limbo becomes more powerful. i.e. being able to banish stuff and then just shoot it from there, not even having to stasis it. They'll still be in the Rift and he's on the other side. That's fine. Honestly, considering Limbo's fall off in various risky scenarios, the fact that Nullifiers still absolutely obliterate his Cataclysm with just the slightest touch, the fact that Limbo is vulnerable to having all his energy sapped, and then where is he at? The fact that Limbo just can't establish any kind of tank aside from just, please dear God, I'm going to stasis you and hope it's enough. Honestly, I think that'd be fine. Did Limbo get buffed? Limbo did not get buffed. No. This is a suggestion. This is a suggestion. Because this is covering the multiplayer issue that allies get frustrated with Limbo. So many people are upset about Limbo. Kind of with a good point. The busted fix, I'm saying, well, that's busted because of this. So how do we address that? And here it is. Doing that just makes the Rift entirely useless? How do you mean, Sterny? How do you mean this makes the Rift entirely useless? Shooting through the Rift sounds way too powerful. Shooting into, not through, into. So if you are in the Rift, you can't shoot out of it. But if you are out of it, you can shoot into it. So if Limbo banishes a group of enemies, then he can shoot them just normally. But the thing is, if Limbo banishes enemies but doesn't himself enter the Rift, any other enemies that are still in the normal plane of existence can shoot him, and Limbo doesn't have stasis then. Limbo needs to get into the Rift. This explains his flip snow globe. Yeah, a flip snow globe. Why not? Yeah. What if allies can shoot enemies on a different plane, but they deal less damage to those enemies? How much less damage? Look at how much damage we put out. What kind of damage scaling could you do that would possibly be fair? If you reduce our damage by half, we're obliterating enemies with overkill far beyond what a halving would do. If you reduce it by 99%, then at the same time you make it where a lot of builds might as well just still be unable to shoot across the Rift. There is no balance in the damage numbers that we're able to put out in this game, and therefore you can't just apply a reduction across the Rift like that. It would still piss off people all the same. Mossy is saying, I wish Banish pulled everything into the plane he's occupying, so you didn't have to jump into the open to banish stuff. That's what Rift Surge is for, but it's inconvenient. Well, it's not just Rift Surge. You could also use Cataclysm for it. That's what I was using. That's what I was using. Let me demonstrate what I mean by that. Let me demonstrate what I mean by that. Chuck said, I know it's done, but imagine that you could shoot through the portal Limbo leaves entering the rift. I get what you... Oh dear, what happened to my mouse there? Hold on. There we go. So it was on the sensor. I get where you're coming from, Jock. It's a cute idea, but that would be a very narrow portal to try and shoot stuff through. It doesn't resolve the issue for allies.
Your enemies
But yeah, so Mossy, you were saying you wish you could banish things without having to go back into the normal plane. That's where Cataclysm really comes in, because I can safely approach enemies all over here, nice and safe, get my stasis going, and then bubble, and we're fine now. That's the process. Banish then becomes a way to send them out of the rift, or in if you are outside of the rift. So it's your toggle. But Cataclysm is your, hey, you all come in here with me now. Alright, let's pop that bubble. And let's just do this right here. That should cover them all. It's that section. Dip myself back into the rift, so I'm safe to get into a position to deploy this. And this seems to be the approach I'm happy with. Just going to pop a Rift Surge as well. Might help out with the closer bubble because there's a lot of enemies. Might not be necessary. Oh, I sense one here. Re-up the stasis, they don't screw me over. Oh, that was fine. Somehow. That's fine. He's in the ref now. Why is the game of a cel-shaded look? That's the rift. Limbo's rift makes that happen. It's not the most obvious effect, but it's what it is. Come on. Come on. Come over here and threaten me. Not going to step in the rift, are you? Okay, silence. Rift bound, get rid of the Xmas, and then focus on everything else that is nowhere near as threatening. Thank you for the radial banish. Have to put a bubble in every room? It's a one way of doing it, and that's where the efficiency helps, in my opinion. If you want to stay safely in the rift and then bring enemies into the rift, that's what you do. If you can find a way to exit the rift, you can use banish, but it's got a very narrow code. This is a huge ass bubble. This just locked down the entire room with it. And this is Warframe, you should expect to use abilities. Gonna re-up the silence, just to be on the safe side. It's a bit risky going for him like that, but sure, why not? Pop the bubble, so I'm ready to deploy the next one. Is that going to be an Acolyte, or is that a Lava Link spawn? Okay. Didn't mean to jump straight into the doorway there, it's fine. Pop that, focus on the Overguard, and now I'm ready to charge this. I don't know how much of a difference that rib is making because these enemies just die. That's how it feels, they just die.
Soldier, you have been nominated.
Oh, there's one over
Your
here.
glory awaits in her
Oh, that's great.
fortress.
Do the extra caches you sometimes get only appear on sabotage missions? There are a couple other missions where they spawn, but mostly it's sabotage. It's kind of the main reason for doing a sabotage mission. If Limbo is such a master of the Rift, why can't he just banish the enemy's weapons? He's a master of the Rift. Doesn't mean he is particularly nimble with it. Oh gods. Silence! I'm fine. Everything is fine. In fact, dare I say it, everything is golden. Yep, everything is golden. Anyone there? Nope. Where'd that rocket come from? Alright, gonna hide out down here, drop myself back into the rift, get back into the group of them, and bubble right here. Look at that, got right the way over to this one. Oh, stasis. Gonna pop down the rift surge as well as the bubble shrinks, just to make sure that any that do leave the bubble get banished. Since when liches spawn in Steel Path? Larvalings to create a lich. That's what can spawn. Keep them in silence. Oh. Here comes me acolyte. Finally. It is Torment. Okay, cool. Torment. Let's pop the bubble here. Oh, of course, I'm out of this. Hi, Torment. I hate that the marker goes away when you zoom in. Because it's sometimes the only way I can tell which one I'm shooting at. They're all just various blobs of grey-green to me. Yeah, because of stasis, I have no idea what it's going to spawn. You thought it was a starship? I think, no, you can spawn people larvalings on Steel Path as well. We've been having it throughout this entire stream, actually. I'm going to kill these without even rifting them. As I flex. I think it's actually above level 20, Mossy, because you can do it on Saturn. I'm being an idiot. There we are.
The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to
Re-up
extraction.
stasis. God, this gun kills so easily. And then I run out of bullets. Let's, let's just re-up that here. Re-up stasis. Every crit can be a red crit if you go in accessibilities. I mean, I'm getting a lot of crits as it is already. I think I'm fine. I think I'm doing just fine. Silence, stun that guy for a moment. Oh, I hit the bloody light fixture. There we are, it's fine. I think we're done here. So yeah,
They fought well.
bubbles
Good
keep
dance,
it
all.
going. Bubbles do seem to be the way there to allow you to create a rift whilst you're in the rift. But if you're feeling safe enough, you can use banish. I've subsumed it out for silence because silence is a more practical solution to the heavier things. I'd also say, big thing about how we could change Limbo. I just had a thought, why does Rift need to be so black and white, in or out? What if banishing an enemy splits the resistance between the Rift and material, reduces damage output, meanwhile allies leave playing can damage them freely, banish allies still can't damage material enemies, Obviously, Limbo can jump freely. Allies can roll to drop their banish if they do. So what you're saying then is to take this very idea here, but then go also 75% damage reduction. That's what you're saying. Functionally, there's no other difference between that idol and my original one. Just adding in 75% damage reduction on those rifted enemies. Which, I'll be honest, I don't think is necessary. Because when they're stasis, you get 100% damage reduction. Kind of seems like the reason to do it. Maybe give the damage reduction to Subsume Banish? Does it need it? Subsume Banish, if anything, might be more powerful than it needs to be. With the fix I'm suggesting there. And if you're putting it on that and not giving Limbo anything, then well, it doesn't fix anything. Thought process is we wouldn't be immune on either plane. Well, you say wouldn't be immune. Immune to what? Stasis stops the enemies attacking. You're not immune, they're just not attacking. I'm not sure I'm following what you're following, or picking up what you're putting down in any way whatsoever, Idol. Unless you say that we wouldn't be immune from damage outside the rift, in which case that completely defeats the entire purpose of Limbo. Removing the invulnerability of banished allies against rifted enemies and vice versa. Sorry, I don't think you're quite saying what you think you're saying. Because you just suggested there is invulnerability of banished allies against rifted enemies, and there is no such invulnerability, and vice versa would still be the same thing because they're both in the rift. Which is not a thing. There is no invulnerability between them. The only thing is stasis, and you haven't explicitly said remove stasis, so I can only assume that's not what you mean. Sorry, you're gonna have to rethink how you're pitching that one, because I'm not picking it up. I'm not really seeing how your proposal is different to mine, aside from the addition of that 75% damage reduction on top of it, which is not necessary, because stasis exists. Yeah. Also, I've come to like this colour. It's muted. Kind of like how Limbo screws up with the appearance of things when he rifts them. I feel like it's better than that. Yeah, this has come to grow on me. Do I want to sign down right though? Nah, most sign downers are annoying. Most sign downers are annoying. Sorry. I can hear a humming. Oh, hold on. There is a loud hum in my room all of a sudden. I can't tell where it's coming from. And it's gone. Okay, might have been a foghorn then. There was a very long foghorn if true. No, there's no fog today. I'm getting distracted by everything. Can't you tell I've had a lot of sleep in this hot weather? It's fucking sweltering. Alright, Limbo. We haven't done something with him yet that I said we'd do. So, is the PC exploding trying to understand Limbo? It's possible. It's also possible it's just struggling under the heat like I am. Ghost 95 said, when using Magus Melt, does Magus Accelerant increase the damage you can deal with your amp? What? That's a completely separate thing to what we've been talking about. Yeah, Rabs, I'll get on that in just 1 second. Let me answer this one from Ghost 95, if I can. Can I see my Magus Arcanes here? Yes. Okay, cool. So when using Magus Melt, which I don't have, Magus Melt, on Void Sling, increase heat damage in operator mode by 30% 15 seconds, 7 times, okay. Does it increase the damage you... when you use it with Magus Accelerant, does it increase damage you do? On Void Sling, reduce enemy resistance to heat damage by 65%. Well. Yeah. Why wouldn't it? This gives you heat damage. This makes enemies take more damage from heat. Yeah? Am I missing something? Magus Accelerant. I'm just having a look at the wiki real quickly here. Synergizes with Magus Melt. Yeah, the wiki says it synergizes as well, so yeah, it just works. That's alright, guys. At least it was a quick question. An odd one, kind of out of the blue, but a quick one. Right, idols rephrase things. Let's see. So it's basically the same as your idea. However, instead of being invulnerable to banished enemies, we would still take a small fraction of the damage, removing Limbo, defense cheese without making him useless as defense frame. Enemies aren't in the rift, they're just banished. Stasis therefore still has use because it holds them whilst banished, benefiting both the rift and the material blades. Its allies can still hit them. Does that help at all? Right, idol. Yes, it does. I still think it's a silly idea because you're still just giving 75% damage reduction. You're allowing enemies to shoot... Basically say that rifted enemies can still shoot back at the material world, which I don't think is necessary. It's part of his core design to take them out of it. You still say they can be stasis. You're getting onto rework territory there. I do believe you're getting onto rework territory at that point, Idol. Because you're changing the ability to shoot across the rift, you're changing the damage handling with the rift, you're rebalancing the effectiveness of stasis at that point. That's going to have an effect on basically the entire kit, because Limbo's kit is the rift. I see all the components there. I do understand all the components on it now. I don't feel confused about it. But I think in terms of redesigns, at that point, you could be asking for anything. That is straight up a redesign. I hope that makes sense. CB Draws. Mr. Engineer, I hope you're all good. If I may ask, can you explain the concept of the gun scythe thingamabob that came with Citrine? Like, is it heavy attack? Does it stuff like Killing Blow increase the firing speed? What is even going on with it? Citrine. The Chlorophyll. Heavy attacks briefly transform the Chlorophyll into a Gunblade. After Gunblade fires, the Chlorophyll returns it to its heavy type state. Its transformation is fastest in Citrine's hands. Yeah, so it becomes a Gunblade for the heavy attack. That's all. It just becomes a Gunblade. I'm still asking UK's Foghorns. Does the Fog in the UK have some dangerous quirk to them? It does have a dangerous quirk to a seafaring nation like the UK, Cetos, in that if there is lots of fog, it's kind of hard for ships to see where the rocks are, and that goes very bad for ships. So, if there is a lot of fog around where ships may be, foghorn sound to let other ships know not to run into the ships, basically. It's like how you have a fog light on your car, to let other cars more easily see that you exist. Foghorns say, hey, ship is here, please do not go straight into ship. It's a thing. Fog removes your ability to see. A naval alert system of sorts. Exactly, yeah. It's a foghorn. It's just a horn that is sounded in the fog. It's just a horn. It's just a horn. And I live in a coastal city, so when foghorns are sounded, we can hear them here. Usually not, because we have our windows shut a lot of the time, but if we have all the windows open, the air is still enough and hot enough to carry it, we could hear it. Is it hot enough to or cold enough to carry it? I think... I can't remember which way around carries sound better, but yeah, it doesn't matter. If the wind is fine for it, we can hear them. Anyway, that is all irrelevant right now. Because I really, really, really need to quickly make this happen. So, let's grab this one. Let's just roll with it as it is. I'm just going to swap out... Yeah, swap out Vanish. This might go terribly wrong. It might go terribly well. We shall find out very shortly, shan't we? If you think about it, Banshee is a foghorn frame. I'm thinking and I'm not getting there. I know, I've already said multiple times which city I live in. But well done. It's not news. It's not like you'll find me. I don't go out of the house enough. Slightly embarrassing, Jock. You forgot about Frost. The second most talked about frame today. It's fine. Didn't have to feed the wall? True, yeah, Raptor. I didn't have to feed the wall this time. That is nice. Alright, let's do this.
Make music, and the enemy calls for a song.
Put me in the rift. There's a bunch of enemies here, which is nice, because it means I can do this, and I can do that. And then I'll just wait to get some energy in a bit, and then I can start messing around with the funnies. Until I have energy, no funnies. Man, that was not a good day for her. Oh hey, you ran into my bubble. Nice. I need energy. I do not have energy. Oh wait, I could just go in the rift for a bit. I have energy. That guy was about to try and steal my gun. Do not touch gun. Not allowed. Oh shit. I did equip Energize on this build, didn't I? Please tell me I have Energize in this build, because otherwise I'm just not going to have energy to do shit. And that's going to annoy me. Yes! Energize. Okay, cool. Stasis. Up. I want more enemies. Can I guide these enemies together? Ah, this'll do. Cataclysm. Rift Surge. Breach Surge. Tap it. That was pathetic. Ooh, shit. That was pathetic. I need to get rid of it. I know this isn't a very high strength setup, it was just the first thing I had to throw it onto. No, this is the right weapon for Breach Surge. I mean, if it can't do silly numbers with a Bursten, then it's not worth my time. Stasis. Where do I want the bubble? I want the bubble right here. Get rid of the Xmas, because they're a threat. It feels like there's just not enough enemies around. I need to take this on survival, don't I? I'm going to take this on to survival. Is Guardian Derision good for a combo build? I don't remember the thing off the top of my head. Guardian Derision? Blocking taunts enemies within 15 meters to target you instead of allies, plus 30% combo count chance whilst blocking. You don't want to be spending time blocking. You want to be spending time hitting, not blocking. I wouldn't really use that. The main factor for this one is to get enemies to focus you instead of your allies. It's a taunt. This is more of a rider, it looks like to me. I wouldn't really get out of that mod, which is why I don't remember it. But I would say, really, even now, most of Frost buffs came in the form of them changing how the Cold Proc itself works, not buffing Frost himself. Really? Really? Wow, that's what you think. So it's nothing to do with the fact that Armor Strip on Frost got massively buffed, nothing to do with the fact that Biting Frost is an ornament that you can use, which also gives you insane critical enhancement. Nothing to do with that. Frost can completely annihilate defenses, and then hard CC enemies, and then super crit them. Just as a matter of course. Also whilst giving allies Overguard, which is now status immunity too, and the Overguard is scaling rather than replaced with higher number. Definitely no buffs to Frost. I think you might have overlooked a detail or two there, just saying. Do I like real snakes? I'm not too fussed about them. Would I have a pet snake? I wouldn't want a pet snake, no. And the snake on the postcard is not the Mexican Black King. It's an Eastern Indigo snake. I remember the name of it. Eastern Indigo. I just loaded up bloody Exterminate again, not Survival. God damn it. How does Frost give Overguard? With the Augment, Icy Avalanche. Also, I should point out, the snake choice for the postcard, you can thank Zomtronic for that. I went straight to Zom. After we'd had the discussion, a bunch of us together on what kind of postcard design to go for, I went straight to Zom and asked, okay, looking for a snake that is black with orange tones to it. Think Lavos snake. And in 10 seconds, they had a response with exactly the right snake. So, Zom, your snake knowledge is legendary. That is a fact. Pinnacle of my time has come? Very much, yeah.
The art of combat must be practiced.
Oh, that's not Zom's postcard. Zom came up with a snake idea. The actual artwork for this was done by an artist known as Sylphix, who was done artwork for Warframe themselves actually before now, part of the creator program, as it were. Alright. I'm gonna pop. Let's just wait for them all to get nice and close. Come on, join the fun. There's loads of space in this room. Oh yes, indeed. Actually, we'll just go out here where all of them are. Alright, stasis. Bubble. Rift Torrent, 1,200 odd %. Four mil damage. See, that's a bit better. Oops, stasis. I can hear the crunchy. I'm doing a little bit better now. Not a lot. Oh, stasis. I mean, it's better. I'll be honest though, it doesn't feel that amazeballs to me. I mean, neither does a lot of Breach Surge shenanigans, I'll be quite honest. Yeah. If only it could proc off its own kills. Oh, then Breach Surge will be beyond busted. No doubt about it. Alright, I've got 1,500 bonus. Help me to also proc this. $1.4 mil. I just... Hello? Re-up that. Re-up that. Don't you dare do a thing. Yeah, this is not the King of Funnies that I was promised. There's a lot to maintain at once here to even begin to appreciate it, and it's just not that. I'm not vibing. I mean, it's easier for me to just do this. Torment died quick, though. That was nice. It was very nice watching Torment just evaporate. So, yeah, Rift Torrent is giving me a damage bonus. There's no doubt about it. It's just... Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I might be dead here. Yeah. How are you all in the rift? You just killed me outside the rift. What? What? D+. Operator damage across rift. Thank you. Or just, you know, the fix I gave originally. Now the mission's gonna fail. I don't care. It was testing. As I'll say, I think I usually do a tight space. Yeah, it's mostly just nice. It synergizes for thing you're doing anyways, rather than numbers alone being absurd. Yeah. I would rather go with, you know, just silence. You wouldn't sell a Limbo screw himself. That one fix I posed earlier, that you could shoot into the rift, would make it work for the operator there. The more I think about it, the more this fixes so much. The Banished Subsume becomes very interesting. Limbo becomes no longer a problem for most interactions with their allies. Limbo has more options to play with in terms of how to approach encounters, rather than just sit in Rift at all times, please. Operator can self-revive. The more I think about it, the more this is actually just a big win. Just an absolute win. Chuck's saying the video decree that makes a fireball every 5th shot, procs from Breach Surge and procs Breach Surge. Yeah. 1 in 5, but yeah. Yeah, there are reproccable ways, Chuck. It's just Circuit is a very unique experience anyway. But I get you, I get you. So, Limbo. In a nutshell, I've seen people suggesting using Gloom, and they're replacing Stasis for Gloom. I cannot in any mind figure out why I would want to replace stasis for gloom. To replace hard crowd control that shuts down basically everything for soft crowd control that doesn't and is more expensive. And uses up your subsume. I don't get it. I don't get anyone who asks for that. Are people that desperate for healing on Limbo? I mean, if you need to heal Limbo, what with his massive 300 health pool, do you know how I heal him? I do that. Literally, that's how I heal him. To be very clear about what I'm doing there, for anyone who doesn't have any idea that this even exists, Magus Elevate. On transference in, 95% chance to restore 300 health to Warframe. Why it's not 100% I don't know. Why? Why have they made it 95% and not 100? Why can we critically fail to use this Magus Arcane? That makes no sense to me, but still, otherwise, 19 out of 20 times, that's a full heal for Limbo. Yeah. It's weird. Just like putting Gloom on Limbo is weird. But yeah, it does feel like to me that just silence is golden. Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember to use that phrase in the video. Silence is golden. Just make it 100% of 285. Just 100% of 300. It's fine. There's no need for the 5% chance of it failing. This is a thing straight from Dungeons & Dragons balancing. Straight from Dungeons & Dragons. If there is no penalty or for failure, no cost of retrying, why have the roll in the first place? And in that case, the only conceivable situation of where it becomes a penalty is you desperately needed that 300 health right at that moment, and in the moment you switch back, if you didn't get it, you will die. That's the only situation in which that becomes valid. Is it health or chance at skills rank? I think it's the chance. Oh, let me check. Magus. Elevate. No, it's the health. My bad, it's the health. Yeah, 50, 100, all the way up to 300. So yeah, it's 95% all tiers for 50 to 300 health. Like, why? I even thought it was the chance that scaled up. No, it's even worse. So at all times, it's just, oh, you can critically fail this. Why?
The multitude of
Why?
creatures you have immortalized would cry out in thanks.
Decoy is still your preferred? I mean, Decoy has a brilliant ability to subsume. Nothing says absolute Chad like running Decoy. Especially if you go for something like Decoy Wukong. Replace Wukong's 1 with Decoy. Top tier Chad right there. I just wanted to quickly check something. Yeah, no, you don't get an invuln on switching back. It's only the operator that gets a brief invuln. So there is a chance. There is a chance that 5% failure rolls when you try to heal at the same time you would be taking damage in that brief moment before you would repop it anyway. That fraction of a second before you could re-dip to operator. I just... Will that be a troll? Yeah. There are various trolley options. I think I fixed my troll here, didn't I? Yeah, I put Zarda's Whisper back on. I used to have Banish on it. I had Banish on it for a half while. That's a shame. Seems like it's to prevent spamming. It creates more spamming. Here's the thing, Smash. If you want to heal 1,500 health, then you do it 5 times, right? But then, occasionally, you would need 6 times. Has that prevented spamming, or has that made you use it more? If you only needed 300 health, you pop it, and then 1 in 20 times, you just pop it a second time. Does that reduce spam, or does that make it happen more? See what I mean? All the player's going to do is just tap it twice to ensure that you're going to get it, because it takes it from a 1 in 20 chance of failure to a 1 in 400. If you do it twice, you know you've healed. Near enough. You know you've healed. You are more likely in a duo of Radiant Relics to get double gold than you are to not have it heal you after a double tap like that. And it's just, you know. To prevent you becoming invincible? How would you become invincible? Any less so than, or more so than we currently already have. How would it make you become invincible? Yeah, we're not going to get into that for one. We are quite actually a bit over time, yikesies. We're quite a bit over time, but I think I am satisfied with looking into Limbo there. There's some more bits and pieces I can finagle and consider alternative bits and pieces, but I've still got my Kale Entertained cheese, I've still got my Argon Buster, and I've done some fiddling around with this, and I'm quite satisfied with where I've ended up. I'll look into forming this to get more power out. Excuse me. But where it is at the moment, I am satisfied with. The main thing is, this taking up that slot there could be a problem for forming. We'll see. Anyway, chat. Platinum giveaway. If you haven't already grabbed yourself a ticket, this is your very last opportunity to grab yourself a ticket, exclamation mark ticket in the chat. I'm going to give you seconds because I can hear Mother Nature knocking. So grab those tickets right now if you want to be winning yourself a little bit of platinum. So only one ticket per person, and one person can win it. Any platform, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're a subscriber, doesn't matter if you're a follower, doesn't matter if you've recently joined my Patreon. Everyone has the same chance to win, although if you do join my Patreon, you do get access to more in the process. It is cheaper to subscribe for the tier 1 on Patreon than it is tier 1 here on Twitch. Just an FYI, even with September. Take your pick. Over on Patreon, you get access to the additional builds. So the builds I'll be posting up screenshots onto there. Save you having to dig through the videos every time. You get access to the Supporter Tea Lounge over on the Discord, just like you do with a subscription here on Twitch. You have your name included in the video credits. That is optional. If you don't want your name included, it's only opt-in, but it is there as an option there for you. If you upgrade to the higher tiers, you also get access to Meet the Math behind the scenes, or at the highest tier, a monthly coaching session of your choice. Because let's face it, I didn't get here by chance. I got a few things I can share. But a few people go through that process already, and I think they've been more than satisfied with the results. But that is my ramble. That's my sellout for Patreon. Exclamation mark Patreon if you've no idea how to get to a Patreon. Just an FYI there. I'm going to close the entries now and decide who is the winner for the Platinum giveaway today. Only one person can have it. Red said, say, appreciate the Limbo stream. Thank you, love his design. You're very welcome. I'm thinking of doing a proper video on him. I've done a lot of videos on stuff that focuses more on later gameplay, so I think a video that focuses on earlier game frame like Limbo, it's about worth time. But let's see. The winner today of the Platinum giveaway is indeed going to be Predator Queen. Predator Queen, Chaos Queen, congratulations. You usually hear this time, maybe you're here now. All the same, well done. And you can look forward to a platinum on that. I'll be getting in touch with you shortly after the stream just to make sure I definitely have the right username and platform for you. We'll get that sent on over. Congratulations, Predator. And in the meantime, chat, that is unfortunately for today. I'm going to have to leave you. But we are going to be raiding on over to another part of the Warframe community. So let me just switch the screens around here. Boop. I don't use that transition enough, do I? Anyway, let's see. Where can we raid on over to today? I've muted up on the scene here, just in case whoever we're about to raid into has some noisy stuff. Who did we raid recently? We raided over to Neo, we raided over to Kadoma and Kadoma, we raided Charizard, raided Brozyme. So let's see, who can we raid instead today? Keep it mixed up. There's Warframe. Let's see, well, Brozyme's active, we've got Kadoma's active, and then we've got... we drop off quite quickly. Roadblock! I remember meeting him at TEDCon. Yeah! That surprised me, he's only been streaming like 24 minutes, that's perfect. Updated the screen? I did update the screen, yep. All the old colours are all gone now. All the old colours are gone. Even on my website, it's all fully updated. Boom. The raid is now active. We're heading on over to Miss Roadblock. And that is where we're going to wrap up the stream today. I hope you have enjoyed yourselves and look forward to a proper guide in fuller detail about Limbo as I want to get around to putting that together. In the meantime, have yourselves a wonderful rest of your week. It's been a pleasure. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.